I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We'll do some cards, do some blues, do some football thoughts throughout the course of the day. You can always reach us on the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. The YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL. That's our Air Alliance team studio cams. What up, Snake Pit? Shout out to the Snake Pit. But you can leave us a mic drop. You can leave us a text message. You can do, you just sit there and enjoy the show. Either way, we appreciate you. Let's start off with your Cardinals. They got blanked last night, 3-0 by the Reds. They had bases loaded, they being the Cardinals, in the bottom of the ninth against Cincinnati's closer. No outs, and they got 0.0 runs out of that inning.
That's hard to do.
Jordan Walker.
They had the bases loaded, I believe, an inning before that or 2 innings before that.
Can I just throw this out there, Jamie? They've had runners on base all season.
Yeah. But last night was really bad.
Last night, they left a small army on the base pass, yes.
Yeah, and the first time the bases were loaded, I believe you had your Arenado and those guys. Newt Barr got caught looking and whatnot. The second time around, unfortunately, it's the young guys, Jordan Walker, Sajaci, and then you pinch hit Matt Carpenter up there because Matt Carpenter's career with the bases loaded has been pretty successful. In fact, one of the best ever in Major League Baseball. But it wasn't to be. And the Cardinals, again, leave the ballpark disappointed in their performance and unable to score runs. And, guys, I got to be honest, I felt bad for Andre Palante. He goes out there, he doesn't have a great game, 5 walks, CD. I mean, it's not like he's the poster child for a Cy Young, but he does battle out of a couple of really tough spots and, limits the other team to 3 runs after having a so-so game. But he had no chance to win the game when your team can't score runs, especially when you load the bases a couple of times.
Well, that definitely, you're not going to win games if you don't score runs. And this has kind of been a theme for the St. Louis Cardinals. I watched the post-game interview, and Ali, it feels like there are times when you watch the post-game interview that it could be at any point of the time, any point of the year, any game of the year where he says, offensively, we're unable to get some runs across. Like, that could have been I could have picked a date for pretty much any game this year where they lost, and then any game last year where they lost. The problems have been consistent, if nothing else. Like, when you win, you're winning in 1-run, 2-run games, which is why Ryan Helsley has so many saves. And when you lose, you're losing by multiple runs, and the thing is, you're not scoring enough. Yep. Like, you're losing 3, 4, 5, 6 runs, and normally you're just not scoring enough runs. So I don't know, man. It's been a frustrating year. Again, I don't know which year is worse, because at least last year I knew by this time, hell, I don't have to really dial in.
You don't know by now?
No, yeah, I do. Man, but it feels, we agreed on this about a month ago.
I was out. I told you guys, I'm out.
About a month ago, we agreed. But it's frustrating. I know guys are trying hard. I know guys are working hard. I know guys are, restless in their effort to be better every single day. But what needs to change? Like, what needs to be, how do you rectify a situation like this where you aren't scoring enough runs, where you don't have enough guys making the plays that are required at that specific time? Like, sports is about playmakers, man. Like, when you got stars, when you got playmakers, that's why people get paid a lot of money, because people come watch you, and they expect you to do certain things when your opportunity is presented. It's been too many times this year, the entire team, where they haven't shown up in those critical clutch moments.
Just looking at last night, Goldschmidt and Arenado hitting 3rd and 4th. They did have the majority of your hits outside of Brendan Donovan at the leadoff spot. So you actually had a very productive night out of the top of your lineup, save for Alec Burleson going over Gopher. But more times than not, the middle of the order has been your biggest issue. Again, last night, not so much. But if you want to fix this offense, and we will get into a conversation at some point today about what changes would actually matter for next year, I'm going to lead off. Here's a tease for it. I'm going to lead off with the cleanup spot. If you don't have a middle of the order that is formidable throughout more months than not, your offense is going to suffer. Yes, you're going to have nights where the bottom of the order hurts you. I get it. But more times than not, if the middle of the order, 2, 3, 4, is not formidable, you don't have an offense. And the Cardinals don't have a consistent middle of the order. Goldschmidt has been hot of late. Arenado has turned things on about a month and a half. It's too little too late. And to bank on those guys again next year, including bringing back Goldschmidt, is something that you either do because you don't have better options or you're not aggressive enough when it comes to acquiring a middle of the order bat.
Well, there's problems, and I voiced my displeasure about this on numerous times. There's a problem when Brendan Donovan is your cleanup hitter. Like, bottom line.
Yeah.
I like Brendan Donovan. I think he's a great player. I think he's a good Cardinal, all that stuff. He does not possess the qualities that a normal cleanup hitter should have. Does he have some pop every now and then? Yeah. Does he get on base? Yeah. But my cleanup hitter has got to be up there and can touch seats like almost every time they swing the bat.
Yep.
That's what you got to get, is one of those guys. And I know you, as the Cardinals, in fairness to the Cardinals, okay, I do say this. They thought they had it. Arenado and Goldie weren't that far off last year.
Right.
Like, you go back and look at their numbers, like, okay, like, it wasn't great, but hey, these guys can still, like.
That's why we didn't really talk too much about the offense. We just talked about them executing.
100%.
Yeah.
So, in fairness to the Cardinals, prior to the season beginning, you really didn't think you needed a cleanup hitter.
Right. And it's not like you can acquire one midseason.
Well, you could have. At the deadline, you could have went after your guy, Rooker.
Brent Rooker, yeah.
Brent Rooker with the A's. You could have went hardcore after him, thinking to yourself, we get him for a little piece of this year, and we make sure he comes back next year.
Yeah.
But you could have.
You could have.
But they could also still do that in the offseason, too.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah, it's not like they're available, down aisle 7 at Walmart. Like,
no, that's why they're very coveted players.
And you're right. I think you're being very fair here. Wilson Contreras has also missed a lot of time. And Wilson Contreras is somebody that can hit in your middle of the order.
Yep, you're right.
I don't think they're that far off, assuming, of course, that Wilson Contreras comes back healthy and they do acquire somebody like a Brent Rooker. There's going to be very few options that are available. If they decided to run it back with largely the same cast, I'm going to predict that they're going to be in a spot similar to the one that they're in now. That's just the unfortunate reality. Now, you did mention Andre Palante. He looked good. 5 innings of work, 6 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks. The 5 walks, not great.
Yeah.
Did have the 6 Ks.
It doesn't help when you walk the first guy and that walk turns into a triple, though.
Because of Ellie De La Cruz.
Well,
yeah.
But this is a huge problem for the Cardinals, too.
You've got to fix that.
We are going to get into a lot of things that we think need to improve.
Yeah.
But when a guy hits a single, he ends up on third.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's all of them. Like, it's not just Paez. It's not Herrera. Wilson Contreras as well. Like, they are not throwing runners out. Like, and I can't put it all on the catchers. It's like blaming every sack on the offensive line. Sometimes it's on the quarterback. He didn't get the ball out. Sometimes it's on the receiver. He didn't look hot and know the ball was supposed to be coming. It's on the pitchers as well. Like, if you are a starting pitcher, you have to do a better job, or any pitcher, you have to do a better job of holding runners on. They should not be halfway down the line before the ball gets to the catcher. You're not really giving him an opportunity. So, it's all-encompassing. Everybody has to do better in the run game if they want to keep runners from, as you said, turning a single into a triple.
Yeah.
in a
and it wasn't just Ellie De La
Yeah.
Cruz. They had a couple of guys. What's his name? Feidel? No.
Friedel. TJ Friedel.
He stole third base.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Ellie De La Cruz.
Right.
Like, it's too easy out there.
Well, it's attention to detail, too. And this is something that I think Cardinals fans have complained about, and rightfully so, with Ollie Marmol and his coaching staff. It's the old Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. We heard it from our guy, Rick Venturi. If you're not coaching it, you're allowing it.
Yep.
So last night, when you've got Andre Palante kind of falling asleep, when the runner took off on the comebacker, you have got to wheel around and either run that guy back or run at him and get into a rundown and get an out. Instead, he throws it right over to first. It's situational awareness.
Yeah.
Does it matter right now when you're 72-72? No. But it matters overall for your organization. It tells you what these guys, from a game situation, game awareness standpoint, it tells you what's going on.
And to be fair, and I think, Jamie, you will agree with this, sometimes, and most times, that's a coaching thing. Like, that's doing something repetitive over and over and over and over again. I remember Nick Saban talking to one of his coaches. His coaches were telling the player, we're going to do this until you get it right. And Nick Saban, no. He said, no, we're going to do this until you don't get it wrong. Meaning we're going to do this so many times that it is second nature to you to make this right, to do the right thing every single time. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that's when coaching comes into play. We're not going to do it till you get it right, because if you do it, you only got it right once. We're going to do it till you no longer make this mistake or no longer have these issues. If we have to work on holding runners on until you no longer forget that man is over there and it's killing our catchers and our opportunity to stop runners, to keep a double play in order. Like, there are so many things that can be fixed that it's almost like we talked about plugging the hole. Which hole is the most important to plug at this moment? Mm-hmm. Every single day, there's another hole that needs to be plugged. And so, I don't know. Jamie agrees.
I saw a documentary.
I totally agree.
I saw a documentary one time talking about the plays. It was about the Flint Tropics, and they acquired a player mid-season.
Yeah.
I believe they gave up their washing machine.
Okay.
And they brought in the player.
Did he plug the holes?
And that player made them run the same play over and over again until they threw up.
He did.
And they had one guy who wouldn't throw up. He just couldn't. Wasn't in his nature, you know? So they were running him ragged. And then finally that player that was trying to get these guys to realize that when you're dog tired, you're just going to have this in your brain here. Yep. You had to punch him so hard he threw up. It was a really good documentary.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember that one.
Coaching in different ways works.
Mm-hmm. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to play Panic or No Panic on certain players and teams in the NFL. Even after week one, plenty of teams and players can be hitting the panic button. We'll tell you which one's next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes time to sell your home, you need a reliable, experienced, and trusted agent. Take it from me, get to know St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, with your home sold guaranteed realty. And here's why. Gloria has solutions for every type of home seller. For sellers who want a fast sale with no hassles, Gloria's multiple cash offer program is a great option to consider. No showings, no costly repairs, and you pick the closing date. You always get the highest cash offer to choose from in minutes. Gloria Liu also has a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. What that does is it drives more traffic to your listing, maybe more showings, and possible multiple offers, which means more money in your pocket. And that's what Gloria Liu is there to do. So please give Gloria Liu a call today. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. NFL, panic or no panic? I got 5 different teams and/or players. I'm going to guess that, Carey, you're going to panic on 3 of them. Jamie, you're going to panic on 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
It's my prediction. Grant, you want to play?
Yeah, I'm in.
You're going to panic on 4 of them.
Okay.
All right? It's my guess. Here we go.
Are you participating too, or are you just
I'm going to participate as well, but
so
obviously
I
I know what I'm panic. Yeah, go ahead.
I predict you panic on 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't know what the 3, what the 5 are.
I don't know.
Okay.
Carey, let's just play the game, okay?
Jamie just wants me
All right.
to be involved.
I just want to play the game.
Yeah, but you
I
need
like
to know the rules.
but I want to include Anthony.
Thanks, Jamie.
You always exclude him. I want him involved.
I'm sorry.
I want Anthony in.
Feeling a little bit like Rudolph right now. You know?
Don't you, Carey?
Christmas night on a foggy Christmas night.
I want you to know the rules, at least have an idea. You don't. Okay, go ahead, Anthony. He doesn't care about rules. Sorry, I forgot who I was talking to.
I care about rules.
Nah.
Just sometimes there are details we can overlook. All right, Anthony, as you were.
Let's play the game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie. Cincinnati Bengals. Panic, no panic. Jamie.
I don't have panic yet. I think you still have Joe Burrow. It looked really bad in week 1. There's no doubt about it. But I think that, Jamar Chase, he wasn't around at all. Well, he was around, but he wasn't participating, and now he's back involved. And so I think they're going to find their stride. I'm not panicking. Not yet.
No panic for me. Did I get you on that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you did not. Grant?
I'm in the middle on this one, to be honest, and I think I'm leaning towards panic with the Bengals. The whole Jamar Chase situation with all the drama going on there doesn't seem like it's good vibes for the team. T. Higgins still dealing with injuries. Like, going up against the Chiefs this upcoming week, like, that could turn into an 0-2 really fast, and that division's a tough division. So, I mean, you get underwater early, it might be tough to come back from that. So I think I'm going to panic on the Bengals.
I'm going to panic, too, on the Bengals. This is a team I predicted to make the playoffs, win the AFC North, but it's contingent on Joe Burrow being completely healthy. He's not. He could barely pick up his water bottle.
Oh, that was staged. I watched that. It was
He didn't look good.
AI.
I didn't see
It
that.
wasn't actually him.
It wasn't him.
Somebody else.
What I miss?
He picked it up weird, and it looked like he
He looked like he could barely move his arm. Offensive line didn't look good. Like, we can talk about, obviously Jamar Chase, T. Higgins being out. I don't think that the two are correlated. Like, I don't think Joe Burrow didn't play well because Jamar Chase was on a snap count and because T. Higgins wasn't there. I don't think he played well because he's not completely healthy. And that O-line doesn't look great again. So I'm going to panic on the Bengals.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers, Aaron.
Oh. Who's going first?
You.
Jamie.
Panic. He looked old. He looked like Moses old. Like, I mean,
That's
old.
really old.
Moses was.
He was old. He still bring it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying that Aaron Rodgers looked old. He barely pedaled around out there. It just did not look like the same guy. So I'm going to panic on that one.
Gary.
No panic for me. There's one game. He's one of the better quarterbacks to ever play the game. I think he'll figure it out. And they'll figure out how to run the ball and play a little bit better defense. And they were playing probably the second best team in the league. So, no panic.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not ready to panic just yet because of what you just said, the fact that they were playing the 49ers and the fact that it was his first game in almost 2 years, really, that he played a full game. So, I mean, it's hard to sell on a guy in his first game in 2 years. It's not a great sign. But again, going up against one of the best teams in the league, first game in a while, I'll give him a 1 week break at least.
So for me, I'm panicked, but I panicked before the season if you want to play that game. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers looked good 2 years ago. Then he had the injury last year. So he's 2 years older. He's got the Achilles injury. And again, his last year with the Packers, I didn't think it was great. And a lot of people are like, well, he had the thumb injury and all that. Okay, well, we're starting to kind of compile some injuries here at age 40. And again, he didn't look great on third down. He didn't look great in the red zone. I think this is who Aaron Rodgers is now.
He didn't look very mobile.
Not at all.
He tore his Achilles, guys, and he's 40-something.
That's why I'm panicking.
Oh, okay.
Panic time. All right. Kirky Cousins. Panic, no panic.
Oh. Panic. Well, it depends. Hold on, because are we panicking? Is this
Can I put you down at panic?
Is this in terms of the team?
No, Kirk Cousins himself.
Oh yeah, no, he might be. I'm gonna panic on Kirk.
Yeah. I'm panicking.
Jamie,
too.
can I put you down for a
He
panic?
looked every bit almost the same as Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, put me down for panic,
With
please.
a fraction of the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sign up for the panic list, too.
Yeah, okay. You know where I'm at on this. That guy can't play as it is, and now he can't play on a bad Achilles injury. So, not great. Packers.
Yes, panic. They lost their quarterback.
You kind of have to.
You got it. Yeah.
He'll come back at some point. So I'm not saying Jordan Love. I'm saying the Packers.
So when he hurt his knee, I texted the group. I said, I think he tore his ACL because it looked like you could see it pop. Like we've seen videos of that happening. I'm not going to panic, though, because they didn't put him on IR, which would have forced him to miss at least 4 weeks. So in their mind, they're hoping that 3 weeks is the most amount of time that he can come. Because if they knew it was definitely going to be at least 4 weeks, they would have put him on IR and brought in somebody else to to fill a role that they needed. So I don't have as much panic right there.
All right.
Yeah, if his injury is one that's only going to linger for, let's say 4 weeks at max, their next 4 games, Colts, that's probably a loss. Titans, that's a winnable game. Vikings, winnable game. Rams, I'd say that's a toss-up. So you have the opportunity to go 3-1 in those 4 games. 2-2 is kind of the worst expectation, I would say. So, I mean, you go 2-2 in those games without your starting quarterback, I think you're still in fine position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to go 2-2. I like what you did there with the schedule, but you got Malik Willis.
You got the Titans.
Malik Willis can't
that's a
play.
W.
Okay, the
He's playing
Titans
against his team. His
Titans
former
moved
team.
on from Malik Willis
And they're
for
gonna
Will Levis.
rue the day that they did that.
Oh boy. Okay. All right, last one. The Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah, panic bus.
Panic. All say aye.
Aye.
All right.
That wasn't fair. You set it up.
I still lost though. I said
only
Jamie. I said Jamie would panic on. Well, no, I won with you.
Because he
I
had
said 4.
And how many did you have?
5.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Carey, I lost on you because I said you'd panic on 3. I thought you'd panic with the Packers. You didn't.
Not really.
And
Didn't
Grant,
flinch.
I definitely did. You were cool, calm, and collected. Yeah, so
I don't overreact for week 1.
How many
By
did
the
you
way,
panic on, Anthony?
all of them except all of them. No, all of
Was
them.
it 4? Was it 5?
All of them. Yeah.
We should have known that. See, this is why you need to know the damn rules.
Okay, well, he didn't explain them.
All 5. Yeah.
I don't know how many we're going to have here.
Like the Browns are toast.
That's done.
That's just done.
hey, speaking of the Browns, would anybody be interested in Amari Cooper in our 101 league?
Take a
Jamie
look-see.
and I at bury the bodies. We're set on wide receiver.
We're fine.
Yeah.
take a
Although
look-see.
we just lost Puka Nacua. Still, I don't think we can. I don't
Can't
think we
afford
need
to go that
I don't
route.
think we need to go the Amari Cooper route.
That's a shame.
We do appreciate the offer, though.
I'm always looking out for you guys.
Yeah, you are.
He might be a fine player, but I don't know who's getting him the ball anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if he's bury the bodies material here. Jamie, let's just check real quick though, okay? Let's not be like the Cardinals and not do our homework on it. On certain players.
Why did you take a shot at them?
Let's see here.
Just a reference point, Carey.
We've got we do have Nacua who's gone on IR. We have Diggs, we have Chris Godwin,
Oh, yes.
and we have Downs and Palmer. I think we're okay. We're all right.
The way Shaky Bakey's passing it to
I
Godwin.
mean, come on.
Oh, boy.
What's your team, Grant?
I'm the injured reserve. It
the
carried over
injured
from last season.
Oh, okay. Let's see who you got here.
Carey's already looking to make moves. He's 0-1 after the narrow loss to Randy.
And I had the second most points in the league this week. So, But
How many
good
did you have?
teams. 126?
What do we have? We had 126.
Yeah, 125.
No, we had 126.5.
Then I was right there at second.
We had, let's see here. Come on, Yahoo.
It's moving slow.
It is moving slow.
I don't know why.
Because all of you are on it.
Should that stop it?
That works that way.
I don't think that matters.
125.06.
I had 125.68.
Wow.
But did you win?
But it says 1-0 next to us.
Yeah, it says 0-1 next to mine.
Yes.
Yeah, who else it says 1-0 next to?
Who?
Oh,
Grant. Yeah, Grant. Yeah, of course.
If I'd have played anybody
Who
else,
did you
I'd have beat
beat?
him.
Who'd you
It's a
beat,
shame.
Grant?
I beat Tim.
Tim McKernan?
Yeah, I think he scored like the 3rd least points in the league this week, but it's
Oh,
a
Tough one.
Poor Tim.
That's a tough one.
He's
Yep.
a really good guy, too. I feel bad for him.
He is. He's the Kirk Cousins of the fan of the 101 ESPN League. Like a super nice guy. Some
Tim,
people,
if you're listening,
some
you
people
can't
root
take
for
that
him.
from Anthony.
But then the games start and you're like, wow, just not great, All right, we've got What's Trending coming up next, and we're going to dedicate What's Trending to paying certainly our respects to what Patriots Day is all about, 9/11. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Grant Francis here with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Rough night for the Cardinals last night. They dropped their game 3-0. They were shut out by the Reds at Busch Stadium. Tonight they'll hope to bounce back against the Reds in game 2 of 3 of this series. It'll be Lance Lynn getting the start for the Cardinals, going up against Brandon Williamson from Cincinnati. First pitch from Busch Stadium will be at 6:45. I'm Grant Francis. The Sports Center update's been driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time for what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do have Blues Q's coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So if you have any Blues-related questions, send those into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, Blues Q's coming up in about 10 minutes. Well, today is Patriots Day. Today we honor those that either risked or sacrificed their lives or lost their lives in the horrific, tragic attacks on our U.S. soil in 9/11 and 2001. This is always one of those, situations where, obviously, if you were alive and you were aware of what was going on, you'll never forget where you were that day. Jamie, I know you've got a story that you've shared with us before, but for those that haven't, heard it, floor is yours first.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I was playing in Canada for the Ottawa Senators at the time, and it was training camp. Obviously, we're training camp right around the corner here right now for the Blues. And I remember waking up in the morning, phone was ringing, and it was physical fitness day. Like, you got to go in and do all your testing and do all that stuff. And the phone was ringing, so I answered the phone. It's like early in the morning, too. And somebody said, it was one of my ex-wife's friends. Oh, did you guys see what's going on with the planes? I'm like, no, I have no idea. I just roll over, turn on the TV, and I see they're replaying the one plane hitting the very first building. I'm like trying to process all this at the same time. And while I'm on the phone with her, the second plane hits live on the air. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is going on right now? And now the phone is beeping because the organization is telling all the players stay at home. We have no idea what's going on right now. Nobody leave their home. We'll give you further instruction as we go here. We ended up reporting back to the rink later on that afternoon to do our physical testing because all the guys live in the same area as the rink in Ottawa. It's unique. The rink is way out there, so the area that people live in is right around the rink. It's not like you're traveling 35, 40 minutes. Right. So we did that. And then you have your training camp that you're supposed to be doing, and then you have preseason games that you're supposed to have. All of that was bumped back for like 5 to 7 days. And then that's actually... Following that is when the NHL went to nothing but chartered flights following that. So up until that moment, teams were still using commercial airlines to fly. Like, not all teams, but some teams were. After that, the NHL mandated all chartered flights so that everybody who's on the plane is past security check and background checks and all that stuff. But it was wild, man. You get to the rink and guys are like down. Nobody knows what's going on. A lot of people have relatives and friends in the New York area, and then people who were flying that day, and they're wondering, were they on one of those planes? And it was devastating. It was a really like eerie, awful feeling.
Yeah, for me, I was in college. We were, it was, we had we were all kind of sitting. We would sit outside of the quad on a place on a stoop and just sitting there. And I remember our running back, Antonio Harris, coming up and saying, man.
Bolingbrook kid.
Yeah, Bolingbrook. Antonio coming up, man, did you all see what happened? And we're like, what? Man, it's a plane flew into, a building in New York. And we're like, and if you knew Tone, you were like, Tone, stop, shut up, whatever. Like, we didn't believe him, but he's like, no, I'm serious. And so we kind of all left the quad area and went to the facility. And by the time we got in there, going into the training room, all the TVs are on, and we're like, whoa. And then, like you said, we got to see the next one, and we were like, oh, my God, what in the world is going on? And again, it seemed like the world stopped for a minute. Like, everybody was kind of sitting around just wondering what in the world is happening. Like, sports took a back seat to real life, and we're just sitting there trying to figure out, was this an accident? Well, first one, maybe it was an accident, but if it's two, then maybe not. Like there was so much confusion at the time, and then you see, people running and screaming. You're just like, oh my God. And it was a scary time, especially if it's not like how it is now and I sound like an old guy. I sound like so old, but it's not like where we had social media where you could get information rapidly from so many different sources, people there tweeting and showing videos. You literally had no clue what was going on. And you had to sit there and wait until the news came on and you started getting information and reports were being made and you kind of had a better idea. But at that time when those buildings were hit, you were sitting there like, oh my God. And then it became a fear like, is it happening anywhere else?
Yeah, is it going to happen?
Is it going to happen in other places?
Absolutely.
Is it happening in Chicago? Is it happening in LA? You started, then now all flights are grounded. So it was a really scary time for a little bit.
Yeah, and to further that, CD, because you just jarred my memory a little bit here. So then the plane hits the Pentagon.
Right.
So then you're
Yep.
like, at that point, now you're like, okay, nothing is safe right now. And I remember then people here in St. Louis might remember this as well, that there were reports that St. Louis could be a target because of the Boeing thing here and that they would attack, the planes or the place where they make the planes. And so I'm up in Ottawa and my ex-wife and all, her family, she was up there with me, but the rest of her family's here in St. Louis, and you're hearing all these reports about different cities and possibilities. Like CD said, it was scary, man.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, and Flight 93 as well. You're right. You start hearing some of the stories that are unfolding, and I just remember. So I was in college too. I was at Central Michigan, and I was brushing my teeth, and my roommate Jim kind of like came to the bathroom. He goes, I'll never forget this. He goes, terrorists are in the United States. That's what he said. And I'm like, terrorists it's very vague, right? Like terrorists are in the United States. He goes, yeah. He's like, terrorists are attacking us, and like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if like I doubted that they were attacking Mount Pleasant, Michigan, but like I didn't know what he meant. So same deal. You turn on the TV. I just remember being engulfed in the coverage, just sitting there. Hours after hours after hours with my roommates. Like we opened up the doors and people were coming in and out just to kind of, because you did get this weird sense of, is everybody okay? Everybody protected? We didn't have classes that day, but I just remember consuming all of that content and just being engrossed in everything. And then, so I've got family in New York, and we've got, my parents have cousins and relatives and things like that. One was an active military member who was on the ground after the attacks. Unfortunately, but he was part of an army contingency that had to go in, and secure the area and everything. And to talk to him about it is just like overwhelming.
Yeah,
to hear about ground zero, the confusion, whether or not they were still safe. They were there to protect people, but yet they're also wondering.
Well, they're on edge.
They're on edge. They don't know
what's next.
Right.
Is there anything next?
A horrible feeling.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys have ever taken the tour of.
We were down there.
I couldn't make it 30 seconds without crying.
I got traded to Boston, and once we went back to New York with Boston, we had people, people, and they brought us right down to ground zero. And this was before they had like the bright lights and the monument. This was like the rubble.
Yes.
And like, it was heavy.
Yeah.
Like, it was heavy standing there going, okay.
Yeah.
Like all those people, all that happened, like it's right. I'm standing right here. It was a lot to process.
It was.
That moment. It was weird, man. And one thing I'll say, and this is my own perspective on it, is I do remember following that. Not that it's a positive by any means, but I remember most of the world kind of, jumping in to try and help the United States.
We became unified.
But the States itself became so unified.
Yes.
And, like, you just look at crap right now. And you're
I know. I have the same thought,
what are
Jamie.
we doing? Like, it shouldn't take an act of terror to bring, like, everybody together.
I couldn't agree more.
It's just a shame that these days, if you have a different political view or you have a different opinion, that people are, like, at each other's throats.
Right.
Just go back to 9/11.
Yeah.
Go back to the week following that. You would have done anything for the guy beside you.
I couldn't agree more, Jamie.
So it's just...
And we were all New Yorkers.
Yeah.
In that moment.
100%.
We were all United States. Like, we were the United States of America.
Yeah.
that is tough to look back and think of, because I remember feeling that being unified and knowing, like you said, all the crap that comes out. Like
people from other countries, like we had Swedish teammates that were like checking in on U.S. people, making sure they're okay, and like it's like. And today you walk down the street and people are like unfriending people and belittling on Facebook and Twitter
for little stuff. For stuff
because they vote red or they vote blue.
Right.
Like, I'm just saying, man, like let's not have to wait for a catastrophe to kind of bring this crap back together.
I agree. So next week, we will have our salute to our nation's military. We're going to do our live broadcast at Scott Air Force Base. It's for service members, their families, anyone that's currently on base at Scott Air Force Base. It's one of our favorite remotes that we do every single year. We love being out there. The people are incredible to us. I say this all the time. It's like the people come up, oh, thank you. We listen all the time. We're like, nope. Thank you for everything that you have done. That's our salute to our nation's military. So it's next Wednesday. It's a live broadcast, 2 to 6 at Scott Air Force Base. It's our annual military appreciation live broadcast. Again, if you're on base, you'd stop by, say hello, enjoy the broadcast. We'd love to chat with you as well. It's all brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, CarStar, and by Budweiser. So we'll see you next Wednesday if you're at Scott Air Force Base. All right. We'll do some Blues Cues next. If you have any Blues-related questions that you want to send us, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Blues Cues next.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter back with you here. I want to talk to you about our friends over at Mentality. Fellas, it's inevitable that at some point your testosterone starts to dip. And there might be other things that happen at the same time. Getting old, it stinks. It just does, but you don't have to feel that way. Anthony, you and I are clients over at Mentality, 2 locations, by the way, South City and Chesterfield location. And the board-certified physicians and people over there, they have done an incredible job of bringing us back to where we feel good.
Well, it's amazing, right? So you age is just a number unless you feel it. Jamie, I know you feel the same way. We don't feel it anymore. Mentality's has worked wonders. We first of all, it's simple to take advantage of because it's 2 locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield. They make it convenient for you. They make it easy for you. They're very welcoming. So you go in there, you talk to their board-certified physicians about how you're feeling. That's all. That's the start. And they ask you certain questions. They're very easy, related to how you're feeling. Are you struggling with maybe some dips in energy? Maybe you're irritable all the time. You're angry all the time. You're frustrated all the time. You know that you're not operating at peak performance. Then if you do proceed, they'll draw your blood. Very easy, procedure, and then it comes back. And if you're low on testosterone or some of the other vitamins that Jamie and I were low on, you could start the program. It's covered by most insurances, and Jamie and I can tell you from experience, you feel it within. I mean, for me, it was maybe 2 weeks, and I was feeling great already. And then you start working out, you start eating better, and all that, and it just falls into place, Jamie.
Yeah, you do. And all you have to do is visit either location. Again, tell them that Jamie and Anthony sent you in, or you can always visit them online at lowtusa.com. That's our friends over at Mentality.
to play a lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will do Blues Cues, but the lineup came out right before we went to break.
Excited?
So I'm very excited.
All
yes,
right.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
This is the best lineup they're going to have for the series.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, I don't like how you said that.
No, it is. Listen, Carey, I'm with you.
I
on
thought it
this.
was fair.
Yeah.
He didn't sound excited.
No, he
Jamie.
didn't. Are you?
No, never
Nah.
mind. Show us Mason win.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, hey.
Went
Things
wrong.
all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the time. That's awesome. But, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
So slow down.
We had a conversation yesterday, and Jamie told me if you play shortstop, you got to lead
Fair.
off. What the hell are we doing? Like
That's
Jamie
fair.
said, you can only be the leadoff hitter if you're the shortstop. That's what he told me.
Which is why I spit out Sajaci.
I was like, what are you doing? And when I said,
it was
when
great
I said
too, 'cause you were
Siani,
like,
he said,
wait, I got it. Show us, Thomas.
I was like,
but you didn't hear the part where I said, well, maybe Michael Siani, and he said, he's not playing shortstop.
He doesn't play shortstop. Like, what is going on upstairs?
I can't make fun of you because I said, and I quote, Buffalo's in New York. Buffalo's almost by
You said
Toronto.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo's basically Toronto. You're like, what?
I was talking about the
Brian
Giants and the
Daboll's the
Jets.
head coach of the Giants.
He
He's no
is.
longer the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills.
Not for a couple of years now.
Yeah. Brandon Williamson, by the way, is starting for Cincinnati. He is a left-hander.
Oh,
So I
okay,
wanted
well,
to
that
slow
changes
you
everything.
down before we get to
Okay.
potentially Alec
But
Burleson. You're
The
good.
shortstop is
Yeah, he's
leading
shortstop.
off.
He's got to lead
Right,
off.
Jamie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Always.
All right, with a lefty on the bump, though.
Burley has been ice cold.
He has.
Like terrible. I don't think he's here.
Okay.
I don't know who is.
I would imagine it would be a right-hander. But if we assume that Goldie is hitting third and Arenado is fourth, I don't know what. Like, you're not going to move.
Maybe it is
Jordan.
Burleson. Maybe they give him another chance.
You're not
You
going to
would
move Jordan Walker
to
up.
second.
You're not going to move
It's-
Thomas
it's gotta be
Sajaci
Burleson,
up.
then.
All right.
Show us Alec Burleson.
You're wrong.
I don't know. You didn't have any confidence in that.
None whatsoever, Carey.
All right.
What
so
right-handed
Here's your right-handers:
batters do they have?
Goldie, Arenado, Jordan
Sajaci.
Walker, Sajaci, Pajes, Lucan Baker.
He ain't going to hit there either.
Okay.
I would.
I think that's your right-handers. For me,
He not playing today. Would you move Goldie to second? Batting second? Not second base, but batting second?
who'd you have third?
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure that out when we get to it. Damn, Anthony.
I mean,
you're coming from a
Could be
limited.
Herrera.
This is
Oh yeah, Herrera's right-handed.
Herrera's right-handed.
second. I would see Jordan Walker there, even though he hasn't been hitting
I don't see that.
well. Before I would see
swatting at flies
Herrera.
last
Well,
night.
you know,
You wanna go
Jamie,
Goldie?
It still flies around. Okay, you got to get him out of your area.
Yeah,
In fairness to
clearly.
Walker, that last one he looked at.
He did.
Because he was
Trying to kill him flies.
Yeah, you know, sometimes
That
it's,
slider wasn't way outside.
he was expecting it to be
Yeah.
though, Anthony, as most of them have been.
Uh-huh.
So it was a good eye.
What's your thought, Carey? You think Goldie?
He's sure.
Okay, go for it.
Just put me out there. Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
You are so
Yeah, there it is.
wrong.
Maybe it is a lefty. Maybe it's.
No Burley.
Lars
no
Newcomb.
Goldie. What about Herrera?
All right, go
Would he
for
be
it.
in the two-hole?
You go ahead.
No.
No, not at all.
That means...
Yeah,
that
true.
means
Yes.
show us Herrera.
What a shame.
This is gonna be tough. It might be a lefty.
We tried
What about
early.
Sajaci?
I don't think
it.
he's batting there.
I don't... Carey.
Go ahead. I mean,
wait,
we
throw me
already,
under
the
the
perfect
bus.
game is already gone.
All
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Show us. Thomas. Sajaci.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm done. One of you guys is going next.
It's not Arenado. It's not Fermin. It's not
Donovan?
Pajes.
Maybe Donovan?
Maybe Donovan.
Yeah, 'cause
it might be a lefty.
Wins a righty.
All right, go for it.
Why don't you go for it?
I
sir?
don't believe
Yeah,
it.
but say-
I think it's a
So
right-hander.
I didn't believe the last one.
Let's say Jordan Walker, because who else is
It's
it going to
not
be?
Jordan Walker.
Okay, well then what righty do you have, Anthony?
So here's where Anthony's doing. He's
Lucan
like,
Baker.
Okay, say him.
Go ahead.
What's with the attitude?
Hey,
Let's
go
go.
ahead.
Show us Lucan Baker.
He's an inspirational baker.
Inspirational baker.
Unreal.
Serious?
Unreal.
I was waiting for you to give me that.
They put Big Country in the number 2 spot.
So he's your DH more than likely.
Why do you say it like that?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
First baseman is batting here.
All right.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
Show us. Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
Donovan.
Or Newt.
I have a question. I'll
Newt's been
save
hitting the ball.
it for...
Newt's got an OPS of over 1,000 here in the month of September. You don't believe in him.
He doesn't.
He's fine.
Show us, Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
That's pretty cool.
It's just so ridiculous.
Was this Walker last night?
This is probably Newt here, though.
All right, go for it.
I think Newt's not playing.
I don't think he's playing.
left field.
Nope. That's just my thought. I don't know anything. Obviously. I still think the shortstop needs to lead off.
You do. And he does. He did today. So you were right.
Well, don't forget, Wynn didn't play short last night, so Sajasi may be at second, and then Donovan's in left.
Kind of where I'm at.
So Donovan, Ciani,
Okay.
Walker. So I
So
think
you
this
think
is
it's
Walker.
Walker?
Yeah.
You agree? Go ahead.
Show us Jordan Walker.
What's his angle?
What angle?
Launch!
Launching now.
All right, so I think this is
I think
Sajasi
this is Sajasi
playing second.
as well.
Go for it.
Show us Thomas Sajasi.
Nice.
Oh, you don't
he
have a
didn't have a
sounder?
sounder.
You didn't even try, Grant? You didn't even try. No
He doesn't
effort.
have one.
Listen, the Cardinals aren't putting effort into this. I'm not going to put in effort
But
either.
we expect more from ourselves.
I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not bothered. Actually, I'm not.
It should be a
Things
reward.
started going downhill when Marshy started playing the Sounders all the time
Counting
again.
the time he's leaving you hanging.
Yep. No, he's playing. He wasn't.
That is a good point.
I
Yeah.
thought about not playing any of the Sounders today, but I thought the listeners would be disappointed. So
Yeah. All right, we're at 8.
Paez.
Show us Pedro Paez.
I can't even function right now.
Show us Michael Ciani.
Michael.
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
All right, run it, Grant.
Oh, go ahead.
all right. So leading off today, we've got Mason Wynn at short. Batting second, the DH Lucan Baker.
What?
First baseman batting third, Paul Goldschmidt. And the 4-hole Nolan Arenado at third base. Brendan Donovan in left, Jordan Walker in right, Thomas Sajasi at second, Pedro Paez at catcher, and batting ninth in center, Michael Ciani.
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, nobody got any last night.
What happened?
I don't think Marshy texted in his home run pick, so
No, he didn't.
I'm so mad Marshy wasn't here today.
based on that, Grant, why don't you
Yeah, why don't you pick for Marsh?
All right, let's see here. Putting me on the spot, give me the DH Lucan Baker.
it's a good pick. So I'll put Andrew Marsh with a little asterisk because Grant picked that for him. All right, I'm next. I'm going to go Paul Goldschmidt. I think old Goldie's got one in him. He's been barreling the ball pretty good here lately, so give me Goldie.
Give me.
You were about to say Mason Wynn.
I was. And then it stopped. Because he ain't been hitting the ball really well. You know what? Give me Mason Wynn. I don't want to go Jordan Walker, but I'll go Mason Wynn.
All right, I'll go. No.
You don't seem
He
excited.
didn't sound excited
that was
at all.
weird.
That was like,
Yeah,
Woof.
he was just saying something.
I was. Yeah.
All right.
All right, we got Blues Cues. So if you got a question, 314-399-9646 is our Air Comfort Service text line. You can text in any Blues-related question, and we'll answer them. Next on 101 ESPN.
Now, it's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
.303, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Congratulations to Percy, who we just met. We met his grandson as well. They came in to collect the Gauntlet trophy that we handed out.
You know, I like meeting, you know, our listeners, our fans. We got to be better. And I'm going to start with me because, you know, we're 5 in a row now, and each time we...
Who lost yesterday?
I did.
Oh,
that's why I said I'm going to start with me. I think...
Didn't know it was an open wound. My bad.
Wide
just
open.
pour salt in it. Why don't you... Like,
Carey,
who lost yesterday? I'm trying to explain
Carey,
what I'm doing wrong.
There are times where I will open that salt and pour it in.
You just did.
I didn't mean to this time, okay? I'm sorry. I am sorry. As you were.
You're right, though. We got to be better.
Yeah. Starts with me. If I'm going to be leading off, can't strike out.
No.
You got to
get on base.
Get on base. Hit a single, walk, hell, I don't care. Get hit, lean in, get hit by a pitch.
Roger Dorn, that thing, man. You got to get on.
Figure it out.
All right, 3:04 time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Grant has got some Blues cues for us, queued up from the Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. Go ahead, Grant.
We'll start with the 636. Will it be difficult for Steen, say, when Bennington's contract or trade talk comes up, since they played together and went the distance? Curious how that could go.
I don't think it'll be difficult at all. Honestly, I have had... Steener, I see a lot in him of the way I operate. It's just very matter of fact. Like, I love you, man, but it's time to move on. We got to go with the young kid. You know this. Like,
yeah.
Appreciate all you've done. We'll always have 2019, and you know, best of luck.
Yep.
If it came down to it.
If it comes down to it, like, here's the thing that people don't realize is that when Hofer's ready to take the reins, it's not out of the question that Jordan Binnington says, oh, that's fine. I'll stick around as 1B. I like playing for the Blues. I know my career is, like, I'm getting older at this point. I don't really want to bounce around. I'm not worth $6 million anymore. I'll play for $1.5 million. I'll play for $2 million. And you got Joel Hofer, and if something goes wrong, you got me.
Right.
It's not out of the question. Is it likely? No, probably not, because Jordan Binnington is an ultimate competitive guy, and he'll think that he's still a number one at that point. And guess what? He might be. But it just might be time to move on. I don't see Steener having any problems with that. He was excellent in that locker room. There's lots of stuff that he did as a player that was like coach talk to guys, where he'd go over and talk to guys and, you know, set them straight and tell them things. And, like, he is not going to struggle at all. Not with that stuff.
I agree by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be straightforward. Plus, he's got Army as his lead example.
He'll be a little softer than Army. Like, Army comes in and there's a pool of blood around you once you're done.
You're not good anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, we think you're going to stink in a year or so. We're out of here.
So I'm trading you now.
Yeah. That's
What's
exaggeration, we think.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Sound like a good organization to me. What do you got?
I'm just saying Steener can do the same thing without leaving you in a pool of your own blood.
If you bleed, you bleed. I mean,
if it bleeds,
he dies.
There you go.
What movie?
Come on. That one is Rocky IV.
That's Rocky IV. What's mine? If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Predator.
Yes! Yes! Nice, boys.
It's an all-timer, let's be honest.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a great documentary on what happens when aliens come down.
You got to be careful. Be ready for the next wave.
That's right.
All right, we'll go to the 573. No.
Like the original?
Actually, I'm glad that you never looked at me for the answer of that question because I would have been about as good as you guys in the Gauntlet lately.
Oh, coming from the guy who feeds the questions.
Hey, if you don't like it, play better.
This has been
you're not wrong.
tough 10 seconds.
It is. Wow. Okay.
He's not wrong.
He's not.
He's
That's
not.
what hurts the most.
Yeah.
And the fact that he knows it hurts and he keeps going, that hurts even more.
Twisted the knife.
He did. He really did.
Go ahead.
Twisted.
What's the next question?
We'll go to the 573 now. Question for everyone but Jamie.
All right.
What current Blues player reminds you of Jamie's play style the most?
Oh, man. I don't think there is
This is a funny one.
I don't think there is one.
Hold on. Let me.
It's not Justin Falk. It's not Parayko. It's not Krug.
Tyler Tucker?
It'd be the
Would that be the closest one?
The closest one.
Like, got a little bit of.
Yeah, I think that's the closest.
I think that would be my guess.
I don't think there is one, but let me do my homework, okay? Let me do my homework on this. Let me at least take a look at the roster so I'm not overlooking anybody. But I don't think.
What about Ryan Suter? Is he?
He's close.
Is it those two, the two that popped into my head?
I would agree.
The quickest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nobody. I would have said like Sammy Blay or something, but obviously no longer a Blue.
I am curious, Jamie, in your opinion, just across the whole league, is there a player out there that reminds you of yourself and your style of play?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of teams have those guys. I have to peruse through it, like Joel Edmondson, but he's a little bit of an older dude. Like, so he still plays that gritty style. Trying to think of other guys around the league. Jacob Trouba. Actually, Jacob Trouba is probably really close. Pretty much, yeah, bang on. Riding the line of between like legal and not legal. Yeah, I would say those two guys there. What's his name? Radko Gudas. A little bit of that mixed in there. I think that is pretty good.
All right, Carey, what about you?
Around the league? Ooh. Honestly,
You've got like two fullbacks.
Well,
to
Kyle
choose from.
Juszczyk, like that, and Alex Ingold for the Dolphins. And I say Alex Ingold because he was actually in Las Vegas with the Raiders, being coached by my former coach, Kirby Wilson. And Kirby told me, he said, that kid is just like you. Like, he is like a spit, like just everything you were able to do, he's able to do. So those two for me. But I mean, I would have loved to be able to be in the offense that Kyle Juszczyk is in. Like, throw.
How much fun
That's
would
what
that
I
be?
did. Like, that's my game. Man, throw me the damn ball. I don't want to block power 45 times. I'll do it. Damn it, but I don't want to.
You'll do it because on
I'm
Tuesday
on
you
Tuesday.
like it.
But on Monday night, when I'm walking in and I gotta get a machine to decompress my neck from my shoulders, but I'll do it. I'd rather catch passes downfield for 40 yards, though. Hey, sign me up for that, man.
Go ahead, Grant.
Go to the 618. Is Braden Shin a second or third line center on a playoff winning / championship caliber team?
Second, third line center on a playoff championship team? Absolutely. I mean, if you had Braden Shen playing for the Florida Panthers right now or the Edmonton Oilers right now, there's no way you can't tell me he's not helping that team. He's scoring you 20 to 25 goals. He's gritty. He's blocking shots. He's fighting guys. He's hitting guys. Yeah, Braden Shen is exactly what you want as a third-line center on a championship team.
We will go to the 314. How long do you think the Blues have to right the ship with an elite goaltender before Benner starts to fall off?
I think that, this year, next year for me is the big one. Because I think Benner only has 2 years left. I could be wrong. Might be 3. But
I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, I think it's
3. This year, next year, 2027 is his 2027.
This year, next year, and 1 more year?
Yep.
So by year 3, you have to be a team that is challenging for winning the division, certainly making the playoffs, and then making some noise in the playoffs.
And then from the 636, if Dvorsky makes the team out of camp and we'll assume he's centering the second line, who would be fit to be the best wingers on his line?
Boy, that's a tough one. I think it's going to be a revolving door a little bit around there, but I like Jake Neighbors on that second line. Brandon Saad, too. I don't mind those two guys. They're very responsible players. If you really want to mix it up, you go Jake Neighbors, put him up on the top line with Thomas and Kyrou, and you drop Buchnevich to play the right side, which he loves playing anyways, with Dvorsky and Saad, because Buchnevich is extremely responsible defensively. So is Brandon Saad. It would help the young man a lot.
All right, that'll do it for our Blues Q's here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, Grant Francis pinch hitting for our guy, Andrew Marsh. Speaking of the Blues, we have your chance to shoot your shot to score a pair of tickets to Blues and Brews on Friday, September 20th at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Get fired up for the blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from country music star Matt Stell and St. Louis's own Charles Glenn Group, plus appearances by Braden Chen, Jake Neighbors, Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, Drew Bannister, and Blues alumni. Here's your trivia question. Carey Davis said one name first when asked which current Blue reminds him the most of Jamie Rivers. He may have mentioned other names. What name did he mention first? If you have the correct answer and you text in, and you're the 101st texter to 314-399-9646, you'll win the free tickets to see the Blues and Brews, which is September 20th. Cardinals, which positions are most vital to fix? I mean, right now. Which would be the most important to fix right now? That's next on 101 ESPN. Mosby Building Arts, they've got great deals going on throughout the month of September. In fact, they have exclusive pricing on siding that runs through September 30th. When you pick up the phone and call Mosby at 314-909-1800, they've got 3 ways to save on brand new siding for your home. Think about upgrading the look and feel of your home, adding some of that curb appeal, and doing so by also getting a free garage door. That's one option for you. Or 12 months, no payments on the new siding, or 10% off siding. However way you want to go, whichever way you want to go with, no problem. Mosby Building Arts, they're the best team. So they have 3 different ways to take advantage on new siding. But here's why you should go with Mosby. They do it right the first time. When you work with Mosby, you have your own team. You'll have a designer come out. They'll take the proper measurements. They'll go over things with you. They'll design whatever project you're working on. They'll design it right there with you to make sure that they do it the proper way right away. You'll get the price right there. They're not going to tack on pricing throughout the course of the project. They don't do that like other contractors might. They also set you up with your own team under the Mosby name. So we're talking about not separate contractors. No, everybody in-house at Mosby, whether you're working with electricians or plumbers, they all go to your home as part of your team. 3 ways to save on new siding for the home, or if you have any other project going on, I highly recommend going with my friends at Mosby. 314-909-1800. Call Mosby.com. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. Well, Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Which positions are most vital to fix for the Cardinals? Well, we led off the show talking about the 3-0 loss last night. The middle of the order did very well. In fact, the leadoff spot, the second spot, the leadoff spot, the third spot, and the cleanup spot all did well. That was where at least your hits came from last night. You weren't productive because the bottom of the lineup that wasn't productive. Alec Burleson, who was hitting in the 2-hole, was not productive. But that's just one game. You're going to have games where your middle of the order hits well. You haven't had that consistently, though.
No.
Even if you want to run it back with Paul Goldschmidt, I got no problem with that. He's excellent at first base defensively, and if he does have a little left in the tank, sure, you want to bring him back for a year? Okay. Where is he going to hit, though? That, I think, is the bigger question. So when you look at which positions are most vital to fix, for me, it's not necessarily like a first baseman, a second baseman, a left fielder. It is, what does the middle of the order look like? Wilson Contreras coming back healthy would go a long way. He can hit 3 or 4 for you. But 1 through 4 is your most productive spots, followed by number 5. Right? So your top 5 in the lineup. If you do not have run producers, home run hitters, 3-4, you're not going to have a consistent offense. That's just the bottom line. Mm-hmm. So when you get limited production out of Goldie and Arenado for most of the year, this is how you get to where the Cardinals are at right now. I understand that Arenado's had a pretty good month plus. I understand that Goldie's had a pretty good 3 weeks. I get that. It clearly wasn't good enough. And the Cardinals at some point need to address that position again, whether it's with an internal option that they just run with, or they make a trade for somebody like the guy I keep bringing up, which is Brent Rooker from Oakland. And I get it. He's a DH and all that. What do you do with this? What do you do with that? I'm concentrating on the cleanup spot.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how you're going to organize everything by the time April comes next year. At the very least, you'll have a legit cleanup hitter.
Yeah. For me, I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but like your rotation needs some help, man.
I agree. Yep.
Like nobody in the league fears your rotation. Nobody. Like nobody's out there. Maybe Sonny Gray. They look at a little more video and whatnot. But beyond Sonny Gray, I don't feel like anybody's nervous up there. They swing so hard, and they hit the ball so hard. Mm-hmm. Palante had a good run. I think what Palante has done this year has been exceptional for him. And I think that it's launched him into the conversation, which is great because he's earned it. Eric Fetty, I don't know. He's been average since coming over. He's been fine.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
What you're talking about is I think you crushed it. Fetty as a 3 is fine.
Yeah.
Palante as your 4 or 5 is fine.
Yep.
But we keep having these conversations, which I think is what you're getting to.
That's what I'm getting to. And unfortunately, there's too many holes in your rotation. When you have to roll out Michaelis, Gibson, and like Matz, and then now Palante, like nobody's fearing those guys.
No.
Like they're solid guys. Whatnot. Michaelis having a terrible year. Bottom line, last year was not great either. So, for whatever it's worth, Lance Lynn not great. But nobody's in the batter's box going, oof. If I'm not careful, I'm out of here in 3 pitches.
Right.
No, they're like, I'm swinging because I know they're gonna. If they hit the strike zone, it's hittable.
Right.
If they don't, I got to walk.
Yep.
And so for me, they have to address the rotation and what that looks like beyond this year. I know we've beaten this up so bad. I just think the only guys that should be not even given, there's 2 guys that should have solid jobs. Sonny Gray and Eric Fetty, contract reasons. Andre Palante, I think, has earned a spot in that rotation. And then the next 2 spots are available. For me, if I'm the Cardinals, just like Doug Armstrong said, there's going to be some veterans that come to camp. Well, you better not come to camp to get in shape. You better be ready to go. If I'm the Cardinals, those last 2 spots are wide open. But not just saying it, like they're really wide open. For if you can't move on from Matz or Michaelis before spring training, McGreevy, Graceffa, all of those guys, put them all in one pile and say, there's only 2 of you that are going to make that rotation. So don't wait till the second week of the season, talk about using spring training to get in shape and find a pitch or work on a pitch. No. Every time you pitch in spring training, you're auditioning for a spot in the rotation. That is the way I would handle it.
For me, it's the rotation as well. It's the starting rotation. I think Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty definitely are on the roster next year. I think Kyle Gibson comes back because I don't think you're in a position right now to have 3 young starters in your starting rotation. Miles Michaelis, in my opinion, would be out. So would Lance Lynn. And your rotation would look like Gray, Gibson, Fetty, Palante, with an opportunity for one of these younger pitchers, whether that's Graceffa, McGreevy, Matthews. I don't know what hints if he's going to be ready in spring training to elevate to that level. But one of those 3 guys with an opportunity to also be in the starting rotation. So now you have 2 younger guys and veteran guys. And Steven Matz is probably in the bullpen. I would also put whichever one of those younger guys, if it's Graceffa or McGreevy, that don't make the starting rotation, I would put them in the bullpen. I would start getting those guys reps at the big league level. They've been in the minors for enough. You know whether they are good enough or not at this point. If they're not, then it's time to move on. Don't continue to let them, toil away in the minors and spin circles and run circles around themselves. Give them an opportunity to have those high leverage moments in games that count for your big league club, because maybe eventually somebody in this starting rotation is injured and you can thrust them into, as long as they continue to stay stretched out, thrust them into an opportunity to be a starting pitcher. I think that that's the most important thing. Like, you have to start shuffling some of the older guys out and moving some of these younger guys in, because it's going to come a point in 2 years where all of those guys, other than Sonny Gray, are not on your under contract, and you're going to have to be looking for 4 starting pitchers. So why not start ushering that younger generation and giving those guys an opportunity to pitch in moments that count, even if it's out of the bullpen. Give them an opportunity at the big league level. Don't give them one start. Don't say, okay, good job, now get out of here. No, give them a chance. Whichever one of those guys makes the rotation, the other guy goes to the bullpen and has that opportunity to learn at the big league level, not just facing, batters that may or may not make it to the big league level at some point.
Guys, secondary for me, and you guys can call me crazy or correct me if you want, I think you have to seriously examine the catcher position again. And I don't mean, I'm not suggesting moving on from Contreras. I'm not. But this year, when healthy, he was 50-50 between catching, maybe a little more, maybe like 60-40 catching DH. Beyond him, Herrera and Pages can't throw out anybody. And I know they're good young players, and Herrera's got the bat that plays, and Pages has been, kind of a surprise. But they can't get up. They can't throw the ball. Like, Pages' top throw was 89 miles an hour. Like, I'm not saying he has to be throwing at 95 miles an hour, but with the pop speed that he has and then the weaker arm, I think the Cardinals have to examine the catching position, or if nothing else, maybe examine their overall philosophy between pitcher and catcher, because this has been embarrassing. And we're spoiled, right? Because we had Yadier Molina, to where if you dared try to take second base, you were done.
Yeah.
And even if you took a lead that was too big, he might pitch out to you to first base and catch you napping. Like, you always had to be on guard with Yadi. It's a free-for-all now. And I don't know if that's a player thing or an organization thing.
Yeah, you may have to decide to move on from Herrera and Pages in the offseason just to bring in a quality defensive catcher, like a veteran guy that can hold runners on. I don't know what his contract situation is, but like a Christian Vasquez is not going to cost you anything. He's a veteran guy. He holds runner. I mean, he's a really good defensive catcher. No, he's not going to give you anything at the plate. But we have seen, Jamie, like you said, we have seen now runners abuse the Cardinals. It's not just the catching. Carey had brought this up earlier. It is holding runners on. It is a full team effort to some degree. It starts with the pitcher holding on the runners properly. Like, you have to address that, I think, from a fundamentals standpoint too. But you may just have to say, look, we've got Contreras. He's under contract. We got to trade
Ivan
Herrera.
Contreras has an arm on him.
Yes.
Like, he's got a cannon. He doesn't always know where it's going.
Right.
But
Right.
Still,
at least you can work with that for the times that he's
there's
starting.
a chance he might get the runner.
Otherwise, you may, again, just have to sign a veteran defensive catcher. Not going to cost you a ton, but somebody that you know at the very least can throw runners out on a semi-consistent basis.
So does it bother you guys at all? Like you brought up the cleanup hitter, okay? Carey went rotation, I went rotation, and catcher/catcher-ish. But why do we not look at this lineup more negatively? Because offensively, it's a very mid lineup, and certainly with runners in scoring position, it's awful. Yet we seem to give the lineup a pass. And I'm just as guilty. I know we're addressing the biggest need, but last night they needed someone who could hit the ball.
To me, if you, and maybe I'm looking at this from a naive standpoint, but Mason Wynn has proven he can be your leadoff hitter. Alec Burleson has had a really good year. I know he has tailed off now. I don't know if he stays at 2, but he at least is an option, a viable option.
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras can hit in the middle of your lineup when he's healthy. To me, if you can fix the cleanup spot, there should be kind of this everything falls into place.
Okay.
I'm not saying every night, but what you want to do is give yourself an opportunity to have, a top 12, top 10 offense. You cannot have that if you do not have a cleanup hitter. Like, unless you're the Cleveland Guardians and you can kind of, you have such great high contact and on base guys that the home runs don't matter and you can kind of go that way. Cool.
Yeah, but you don't have that.
You don't have that at all. So to me, is it fair to bring up the entire offense? Yes. If I can fix that spot, and it's a huge question mark, but if I can fix that spot, I feel pretty good about the offense improving overall.
Right.
Again, maybe there's some.
I always find it weird
to me
because we always look at the line. I'm like, he's not bad. Like, but then it's not good either.
Right. Yeah, the production's not there. And to me, again, it's the middle of the order. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Prove Me Wrong next. We've got a fill-in judge today, and that judge tends to be, he being Grant Francis, he tends to be a little harder on us. So
that's a great hat he's got on.
It's a great look overall.
Solid chain.
The outfit's solid.
Solid chain.
Outstanding.
It screams like, hey, look at the bling, but not too much.
Exactly. Yep, absolutely. So Grant Francis is going to be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Oh, boy.
For Prove Me Wrong. So if you have a statement that you want us to prove wrong, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Prove Me Wrong next.
Grant Francis here with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals were shut out last night at the hands of the Cincinnati Reds, 3-0 at Busch Stadium. They'll hope to bounce back from that shutout today as they are back for Game 2 of the series against the Reds. It'll be Lance Lynn getting his first start coming off the IL for the Cardinals, going up against Brandon Williamson for the Reds tonight, and first pitch from Busch Stadium will be at 6:45. I'm Grant Francis. The Sports Center update's been brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, no Andrew Marsh today. We've got a fantastic sub-judge today. He's Grant Francis. Now, Grant, you've done this before, right? You've been the judge before.
I think I did it once or twice.
Yeah, Grant was hardcore.
I've gotten a reputation of not being a very lenient judge,
No,
apparently.
not at all. Yeah, not at all. But that's
What
okay.
they
You're
say
fair.
doesn't matter because you, sir, you're outstanding.
Absolutely.
Right, Jamie?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will not be swayed.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
We're just keeping it real, man.
For
Tell
sure.
you the truth.
Yeah.
The concept is
Nice wedge.
pretty straightforward. Text in 314-399-9646. Text in a statement that the law firm of Davis, Rivers, and Stalter have to prove wrong. And Grant, again, is the judge, jury, and executioner on this. So, Grant, without further ado, what is our first case?
I will say this one's going to be tough for you guys from the 573. Prove me wrong, Deshaun Watson is not the starter for the Browns at the end of the year.
Oh, have you seen this guy's contract? That guaranteed money is going to play until he can't play at all anymore, whether it's for on-the-field injuries or off-the-field things that are happening. Until someone says that man cannot play, the Browns are rolling him out every single game. Why is that? Because the GM and the owner can't afford the embarrassment of handing out possibly not just the worst contract in NFL history, but maybe the worst contract in all sports history. Giving a man guaranteed money after he sat out an entire season not knowing exactly what you're going to get, you're rolling him out there until you cannot do it anymore.
Oh, nice.
Long pause was somewhat...
Well, you had to think it over.
I was debating in my head.
He was reviewing
what was there to
the
debate,
evidence.
Judge? Just out of curiosity? I'm sorry. I'm allowed to ask him.
No, well.
Okay. All right.
I changed my
No, you
ruling.
can't do it. You already banged the gavel.
I didn't bang anything.
That's not my
Did you
fault.
hear a bang?
You can't take back the ding.
From the 636, prove me wrong. This is Rodgers' last season in the NFL.
Now, again, what Jamie said, have you seen the contract? I mean, he's under contract for another year. He actually gave money back to make sure that they could spend money elsewhere and get that defense right, get that offense, get the weapons. He got Alan Lazard. He got him from the Green Bay Packers, wanted him to come along for the ride. Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets for this year and the foreseeable future.
I agree with you, unless he gets injured. Like, obviously, the Achilles last season, if he gets injured again, that might have him done for his career. But if he doesn't have another injury like that, I think the contract will play, and the head coach will be out before he will be.
Possibly, yeah.
All right, we'll get some hockey in here from the 314. The Blues could or should have pursued a second-line center via free agency or trade to accelerate the retool and be a bridge to Dalibor Dvorsky.
I was going to say, you didn't need to. You heard of Dalibor Dvorsky, right, Jamie? He's the next coming. He's going to be, he got Robert Thompson, you got Dalibor Dvorsky. You got guys in that centerman position that can get pucks to people so they can do what? Put the biscuit in the basket. They're going to score so many goals this year. I'm so excited about Dalibor Dvorsky and what he has, just the potential for him. Jamie, if you want to chime in about this, because you know I give you the information on the hockey, but I know you've learned and been listening to my studying and all the things that I've been talking about, but you didn't need to go out and trade for a guy. Hell, they traded for everybody else. What did they need to go out and get another centerman for when you got one ready to roll this year?
Yeah, Carey, and also, as you were saying, saying to me earlier today, why would you repeat what the Cardinals do by blocking your young stars with older players that are, they're here to bridge the gap for a year and this? No, rip the Band-Aid off. Doug Armstrong has communicated perfectly to the fan base of what the plan is. The plan has been set in motion. Heck, he went out and offer sheeted 2 players. By the way, the Holloway kid, he was drafted as a centerman. He played wing in Edmonton because they were so deep down the middle of the ice. Maybe you're not as deep here. Maybe Dalibor Dvorsky and Holloway share, reps at center ice from time to time. But if you had an older guy or a veteran guy that you're spending $3-4 million, by the way, that's cap space that's gone. That guy blocking these young players, you're no better at that point.
Yep, I agree totally with you guys. Bringing in somebody would have just been a block
Carey.
to Dalibor Dvorsky. So this one will be a little bit tougher for you guys from the 618. Prove me wrong, the Cardinals won't make the playoffs.
Well, here's the thing about the Cardinals. They never quit. That's for damn sure. Remember in 2011, everybody had them dead to rights. When it comes to the Cardinals, one thing you can't do is ever count them out, especially when you're still mathematically available. Here's the thing about the Cardinals. Lance Lynn's going tonight, okay? And Lance Lynn, one thing we know, one reason why he got signed. 1, he wanted to be here. 2, he was cheap. 3, he's got that Cardinal blood in him. You know what I mean? That old, gritty Cardinal blood. And he's going to pitch very well tonight against Cincinnati, okay? And all these young guys that they're starting to give an opportunity to, the Thomas Ajaces, the Jordan Walkers, the Mason Winns, they're all going to lead the Cardinals to the playoffs. I sense a collapse, too, from some of these other National League opponents.
And let's not forget the epic 17-game run just a couple of years ago.
No doubt, Jamie.
So it's not out of the question.
Who could forget?
That's right. Yeah. To be fair to you guys, there was no convincing me on that one. So
There would be no right answer.
yeah,
I was going to look for a
That's
plea
not on
deal.
you.
I mean, like right away.
That's not on you guys.
Yeah. I met with my client,
You're
and I
not
knew
gonna
he was
work with
guilty.
the prosecution on a plea deal here.
Yeah, I knew he was guilty right away, and I said, hey, I'm going to get a plea deal for you, and I still had to go to court, so now he's in jail.
Oh, well, you did your part.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right, from the 636, prove me wrong. Chiefs win a 3rd straight Super Bowl this year.
I should have pleaded insanity on that. That's,
I think it would have been believable, too.
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, what was that?
What?
Chiefs win the 3rd Super Bowl this year.
You know how hard it is to three-peat in any sport, let alone the National Football League. I mean, there are so many injuries that take place. I mean, Hollywood Brown is already injured. He's been out. He's going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. You deal with injuries in this game, and there are so many other teams that are competing. It's hard for me to take one team versus the field when the Chiefs are going to be, they're battle-tested. They've done a great job. But, again, to repeat is hard enough. To three-peat, it's not happening, so it's damn near impossible. I don't think that there's a way that the Chiefs are going to go back to back to back and make it a three-peat this year because, you got the Ravens, who they lost to the opening week by a toe. You got the 49ers, who had their backup running back rush for 147 yards. They didn't even have their starter out there. You got the Detroit Lions, who took the ball and ran it right down the field in opening week for a touchdown against the Los Angeles Rams. I am so excited about all of these teams this season. It's just going to be too tough for the Chiefs to three-peat.
I like your argument. I think that when you're comparing one team against the field, it's always hard to take the one team, especially when they've hit for 2 straight years. So I'm going to side with you on this one. I'll take the field.
Appreciate you.
Nice work. All right, that's prove me wrong. Nice job there, Judge.
It's
Really
nice to
nice
you guys
job.
this time.
Good job.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, but I thought you were fair.
You know what? I thought you guys gave good arguments.
Good.
Thank you, Grant.
Yeah. What about mine with the Cardinals?
Well, I don't think Jesus Christ could have gave a better argument than you did. So
JC? I think JC could have done it. All right. What ultimately determines a young quarterback's success in the NFL? What's the biggest factor when it's all said and done? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and to all my contractors out there, you need to know about Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to recycle that metal and make your job that much easier. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how scrap metals add up and how it can truly help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, you do heating and cooling, an excavator, or any contractor, Scrap Mart Metals recycling can make your job easier. You have that heavy equipment, it breaks down over and over again. You get frustrated, you repair it. Eventually, it'll come a time where you have to get rid of it, and Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it away yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they buy it. If you got a water heater, I almost had to replace my water heater. If you want to take your water heater there, you can get a check the same day. It is recycling made easy. They have the highest payout, and you will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. All you need to do is go to scrapmartmetals.com and visit and talk to my guy Lucas. He can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. Again, that's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell him Carey sent you.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. So the NFL over the weekend, you had some rough rookie debuts. Guys like Caleb Williams, and it's not all on these quarterbacks, obviously, but Caleb Williams had a rough one. Jaden Daniels, from a running standpoint, was fine. Otherwise, not great.
Bryce Young.
Bo Nix, not great. The second-year quarterbacks, like Bryce Young, not great.
Still young. Will Levis is second year? This is second or third year?
This is his second year, I believe.
I think it's the second
Not
year.
great.
So they
Boy, I hope it's not his third.
I don't think it's his third. I think it's his second year. I mean,
there's been 0.0 improvements there. Will Levis
hopefully
to
he's
me.
been good with his money.
Will Levis to me is. You ever see the Larry David meme or the GIF where he's like, he's trying to like talk himself into clearly something. Second year. Clearly talking himself into something that's not great.
Yeah.
Like Will Levis. Yeah, he's got a pretty strong arm. No idea where it's going. I can't. He can run a little straight line speed. Not really a mobile quarterback. Like he's just I'm out.
So Bill Belichick was on the Pat McAfee show today, and they were discussing Will Levis and the throw.
Yeah.
If for those who didn't see it, he was pressured and he didn't throw the ball. He was like underhanded but backhanded, like
flipped it out
rugby style, like threw it, trying to go 15 yards or 10 yards down the field. Bill Belichick said, "Well, you know, I always had a discussion with Tom about this, and I tell Tom, best case scenario is you make that pass worth, and it's good for a yard, maybe 2. Worst case scenario, you just lost the game."
Yeah.
So he's like, just eat the ball and go down, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
He's a
pretty good coach.
What do you guys ultimately think determines young quarterbacks? Like, is Bryce Young done? Is he ruined? It's over with. There's nothing there. There's no mold of like. When do you say? Because we all know, like C.J. Stroud, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
But it's a little harder to predict when it comes to guys that are bad. For example, Sam Darnold had himself a really nice game. It was against the Giants, but he's with a really good OC / head coach in Kevin O'Connell, who clearly knows what he's doing. We've seen Geno Smith, late career resurgence, got himself paid. We've seen Ryan Tannehill, mid-season. Mid-career resurgence. What do you ultimately think determines this?
So this has been the biggest dilemma in my head, and I just go back. I try to use the hockey way of developing a star player, which I know doesn't translate to the NFL, because the NFL, your top picks are like franchise players, right? But look at Bryce Young. He's not good. But what does Bryce Young look like maybe playing for the Steelers instead, or playing for not even a great team, just an average to good team? What does it look like there, where he's got proper protection, proper weapons, proper coaching? I think he's already on his third coach in his NFL career.
Yeah.
Started with one. He got fired halfway through. And
was Matt Rule... Yeah, was Matt Rule fired last year in the middle of the season?
Yeah, then they had, what's his name?
Was it last year?
I thought it was
Frank
2 years
Reich.
ago.
Frank Reich went in there, and he got gassed halfway through the season. So second or third coach, it doesn't matter.
Good, yeah.
But the young man hasn't even had a chance to really get his feet wet in the NFL, and he's gotten through 2 coaches. I don't know how many offensive coordinators, how many different playbooks, and his offensive line is not good.
No,
not good. So he has been given a crap sandwich. Yet here we dog on him, which is fine because he's not playing good.
Right.
But he's not the only one. This has been my argument for years now. Is the NFL draft these franchise quarterbacks in the top 5, top 10 picks? Those teams are usually terrible. And so you're letting the young man take his first steps in the NFL behind an offensive line usually that is not great, a team that doesn't have the weapons. Maybe it's a coaching staff that's not great because you finished so poorly the year before. You can't be very awesome.
No, or it's more times than not, it's inexperience. Or even a new coach, and then a whole new offensive package comes in, not just for the quarterback, but the whole team is learning it now. Yeah.
So I just don't understand how certain NFL teams develop their quarterbacks, or maybe the league overall. I said it to you, Carey, in the office. I'd like to take a kid in the first 5 picks, first 10 picks, and no matter what, the first year, he's not going to play unless there's blowouts.
Right.
Let him get the practice. Bring in a Jacoby Brissett. Bring in a Mason Rudolph. Bring in, there's those quarterbacks are everywhere.
Gardner Minshew,
Jameis Winston, they're everywhere. That they can plug and play for the first year, and the young kid gets reps. He gets some first-team reps from time to time against the first defense, all that stuff to get him. Then you introduce him slowly. Maybe the next year you draft some good offensive linemen, too. Like you add to help this young man. But very few teams, Carey, seem to do that.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the organization, which, it starts at the top. What's their philosophy? How are they building the team? How are they going to prepare this player to be the best version of themselves? Now, I do think that the Chicago Bears did a fairly good job. I mean, they had the first overall pick, but they were really not the worst team in the league. They got that pick because of the Carolina Panthers. And so they, I think, have done the right thing. I just don't think Caleb Williams had a good game. I don't know that that's a definitive, picture of who he is going forward. I think he has some things to clean up. But when I'm looking at like a Bryce Young, that's a terrible organization. Like he has not. He's going into an organization that doesn't have stability, in my opinion. You said third coach Frank Reich was there, and then they hired, the interim coach, and now it's Dave Canales. And so there is transition repeatedly where you're trying to figure out what is what. He doesn't look good. I'm looking at some of the other guys and saying, okay, well, maybe there's something there. Like I said, like a Caleb Williams. The second-year quarterbacks, I think, have figured some things out. Like Anthony Richardson looks really good. C.J. Stroud obviously looked great. He looked great in his rookie year. But I think it's just about where you go and what what they put around you and how they allow you to develop, and not pulling the plug so quickly on you where they say, yep, he can't do it. Well, he's on his back every time he drops back. So let's try to figure out a way to keep him clean, whether that's leaving more people in to protect and having less receivers in the pass game, whether that's running the ball effectively and throwing, bootlegs and throwing screens to get the ball out of his hand quickly. I think it's more about giving the player the opportunity to have success and not pulling the plug or putting them in harm's way. Like, don't put them in harm's way if they have a poor team. You talk about Baker Mayfield, who has had a resurgence. He had 4 head coaches in 3 or 4 years. Like, you're not going to be, and I would bet good money they would take Baker Mayfield right now in Cleveland over what they have. So it's a tough task building a team. But if you're going to have a quarterback, you have to be right on who he is and what he is. But you also have to surround them with good enough players. And hopefully you're in an organization that knows what the heck they're doing. If you don't, you're going to be out of luck.
Well, I think the last thing you said is my biggest thing. I think that if you don't have a play caller that's going to design some guys open for you, I think it's a problem. Now, we're getting a lot of text in from the snake pit. The guys that are mentioned, like Kyle mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Droid FX, he mentioned Patrick Mahomes, guys that sat behind their starters, right? Mahomes,
Tom Brady sat behind Bledsoe.
Sure. Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. Aaron Rodgers had Mike McCarthy. Regardless of what you think about Mike McCarthy as a head coach, the guy's a really sharp offensive mind. Dak Prescott has had his best years under Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers' best years came under Mike McCarthy. I know it kind of went sideways in Green Bay, but Mike McCarthy knows what he's doing. Drew Brees was a good quarterback with the Chargers. When he got to the Saints, he became a Hall of Famer under Sean Payton. I do think that where these guys go from an offensive mind standpoint is vital.
I will also say this, because all the names you named are Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Sure.
So, Bo Nix is with Sean Payton. It didn't look great. Like,
it's 1 week.
It is, but it also there was
Russell
so much
Wilson's
hype.
a Super Bowl winner.
He
didn't look good under Sean Payton too, because he stinks now.
Well, maybe it's the quarterback, or maybe it's the coach. Who knows? But
Kirk Cousins looked like a quarterback under Kevin O'Connell. Yeah. He looked like an actual quarterback.
Yeah. I think it's
which he's not.
He is, Anthony. He plays the position. Darn it. He's going to be under center this week.
I know it says QB by his name.
That's what it says. That's the position he gets. Or he's getting paid like a QB.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
There you go. That's all you need.
You're right. I did bring up big time.
Those are Hall of Fame quarterbacks that maybe have success in any offensive scheme that they're running or under. But I think it's just when you don't have that offensive Hall of Fame talent or that caliber of a quarterback, finding them with the right head coach, the right OC, the right organization, and the right players around them is what allows you to have the success.
I wonder, too, how different Patrick Mahomes' career, like Patrick Mahomes he's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Is he going for his 3rd straight Super Bowl if he's with the Bears?
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So to me, the coaching it's not just that he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Jared Goff was wretched I mean, wretched in his first year with Jeff Fisher and whatever offensive coordinator he decided to go with at the time. When Sean McVay took over, Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl. Now, eventually they said, I need somebody else to elevate, so it's got to be, they bring in Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff wasn't that great with the Lions initially, but Ben Johnson has tailor-made that offense to fit what Goff does. I do think there's that element to it. That's all I'm saying. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I think it's more important, quite frankly, than who the wide receivers are, which is the only thing we like to focus on sometimes. All right, the Gauntlet is next. We get a returner next here on 101 ESPN. The Missouri Athletic Club. I love going down there. Went down there earlier today to get my workout in. I love just kind of seeing people that I've met over the years. Whether it's the trainers that are down there that do an outstanding job, personal training, or somebody that I took a class with when it comes to the various clubs that they offer within the Missouri Athletic Club. But recently, Jamie hosted he participated in the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame down at the downtown MAC, and Jamie's been a part of some of these dinners that they've hosted at the MAC downtown. They always do it top notch. The events are always fantastic. Everybody has a great time. We've been down there for like the College Basketball Writers Association Awards. They always do it to the nines, top notch. Everybody has a great time. That's what you get from the MAC. That's the Missouri Athletic Club. All right, time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, where it's 4:04. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Grant Francis filling in for Andrew Marsh. Carey Davis is here. Jamie Rivers is here. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome back for a second straight day, Josh. What's up, Josh?
Oh, not much.
Driving home from work again?
You know it.
All right, good man.
Yes, sir.
Well, you have two options today. That would be Jamie Rivers or that would be me. Who would you like to take on?
We're going to go with you, Anthony.
All right. Josh, good luck to you, man.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony's headed off to the cone of silence. While he does that, Josh, tell my guy Grant to spin that wheel.
Spin the wheel, Grant.
All right. What category do you not want today against Anthony Stalter?
Well, it's probably going to be hockey, so let's go. No random today. Let's get sports this time.
Trying that again? All right. Well, the wheel didn't listen to anybody today. It landed on baseball. How do you feel about that?
Didn't say.
I love baseball.
Yeah, don't we all, right? Don't we all?
Go Cards.
All right. So, as you know, it's 4 questions, each of them worth 2 points. If you use the options and answer correctly, it's only worth 1 point. You get it wrong, of course, 0. If you're tied after 4 questions, we will go to a tiebreaker. And Josh, we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, question 1. Tomorrow, the Cardinals kick off a 3-game set versus Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds. Cincinnati first promoted De La Cruz to the big leagues last June 6th when he was playing for what AAA affiliate?
Oh, man. Options.
All right. Was it the Omaha Storm Chasers, the Louisville Bats, or the Gwinnett Strippers?
I think it was Stripers.
Well, it says, I'm just telling you what it says.
Can I get those one more time, Jamie?
You sure can. The Omaha Storm Chasers, the Louisville Bats, or the Gwinnett Stripers/Strippers?
We'll go with the first one, the Omaha.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Thank you.
Question number 2. There are only 2 active players that have made 10 or more All-Star teams. Mike Trout and who else?
Mike Trout and 10 All-Star games. 10 All-Star games. Come on. Judge hasn't played long enough. Justin Verlander, final answer.
All right, question number 3. Mason Wynn remains on pace to become the first Cardinals rookie to lead the team in hits since Albert Pujols did so in 2001. Who finished second behind Pujols that year with 191 base knocks?
2001, 191 base knocks. Would that have been Fernando Pena, maybe? Don't think Edmonds ever hit for that high average. Let's go options.
All right, your options are Fernando Pena, Edgar Renteria, or Placido Polanco.
Let's go with Fernando Pena.
Final answer?
Final answer. Dang it.
All right, Josh, final question. Who's responsible for the longest home run ever hit at Fenway Park?
Longest home run ever hit at Fenway Park. David Ortiz comes to mind. Mo Vaughn comes to mind. Those are probably going to be options. I don't feel like I need to take the options. Manny could be on there. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say Mo Vaughn. Final answer.
All right. Let's get our guy Anthony back here from the Cone of Silence. Well, he's popping in here. Josh, how you feeling, bud?
Not great.
No, huh? All right. Well, Anthony's coming back in here. We'll see. Never know how it works. Anthony's going to be plugging his ears in here in a second. Anthony, how's the Cone of Silence today?
Good. Ryan and I were talking about Blues home opener
Oh, nice.
at some point.
You excited, huh?
Yeah, darn right we are.
Attaboy.
Yep.
All right. Well, you better pack a lunch, buddy.
I don't like the vibes in here right
No,
now.
I was going to give you all. The New York Mets just gave up a home run. They had a no-hitter going.
Yeah.
Bowden Francis, Grant's cousin.
So the Blue Jays had the no-hitter, and the Mets just broke them up?
Yeah, the Mets broke up the no-hitter.
Gotcha, yeah, because
Mets had
Francis is with the Blue
Bowden
Jays.
Francis.
That's a tough way to go.
Yeah. 1-1 tie. Francis going indoor.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Category is baseball.
All right.
Right on time. Huh?
Ooh, look at you. And the last time the Blue Jays blew a no-hitter, that was today.
Anthony?
Final answer.
Dial it in.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah, he did. I told him that.
I didn't know. I
That's
was
okay.
busy doing
Packing
something
2
else.
lunches is never bad, but he's dial it in.
Okay. Ready.
Question 1. Tomorrow, the Cardinals kick off a 3-game set versus Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds. Cincinnati first promoted De La Cruz to the big leagues last June 6th when he was playing for what AAA affiliate?
No idea. Can I have the options, please?
Yeah. Was it the Omaha Storm Chasers, the Louisville Bats, or the Gwinnett Stripers?
Let's go with the Louisville Bats. Final answer.
Okay.
Question number 2. There are only 2 active players who have made 10 or more All-Star teams. Mike Trout and who else?
10 or more all-star teams, you say.
That's it.
I'd imagine these guys would be pretty good. List is going to be filled with great players. Can I have the options, please? Let's narrow that down.
Is it Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, or Clayton Kershaw?
Verlander, Scherzer, or Kershaw. I'm going to eliminate Scherzer. I feel like he kind of had a late start to his career. I mean, he's been damn good, though. Verlander's had a lot of injuries. Kershaw's kind of... I'm going to go with Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw. Final answer.
All right, Anthony, question number 3. Mason Wynn remains on pace to become the first Cardinals rookie to lead the team in hits since Albert Pujols did so in 2001. Who finished second behind Pujols that year with 191 base knocks?
In 2001?
Correct.
Can you give me the question again, please?
Mason Wynn remains on pace to become the first Cardinals rookie to lead the team in hits since Albert Pujols did so in 2001. Who finished second behind Pujols that year with 191 base knocks?
I've got a thought, but let's narrow it down.
All right, your options are Fernando Vina, Edgar Renteria, or Placido Polanco.
Not who I was thinking of, guys. Polanco, Renteria, or who?
Or Fernando Vina.
I'm going to go Vina. Vina, final answer.
Final question. Who is responsible for the longest home run ever hit at Fenway Park?
Options.
Was it David Ortiz, Ted Williams, or Manny Ramirez?
I'm glad I asked for the options. I was thinking pitchers.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could, yeah. Okay.
I was thinking pitchers.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I'm
Couldn't
sorry.
remember
Gave
who,
up
who
the- I
hit
got you.
the longest
Yeah.
home run.
Ortiz,
Williams or Ramirez?
Williams, or Ramirez. Those are all really good hitters.
They're not bad.
Ortiz. I mean, you got to go Big Poppy, right? I'll go Big Poppy. David Ortiz, final answer.
All righty. Let's pick it up right there. Question 4. Who's responsible for the longest hit home run ever? Although it does say ever hit at Fenway
Ever
Park.
hit, yeah.
Either way. Josh, without the options, you said Mo Vaughn. It wasn't an option, so.
I like the shot, though. Good
Anthony,
hit.
with the options, you said Big Poppy. Carey, answer is
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams, 502-foot home run.
Home.
Boom, shakalaka. 0-0 after one. Let's go to question 3. Mason Wynn remains on pace to become the Cardinals, the first Cardinals rookie to lead the team in hits since Albert Pujols did so in 2001, who finished second behind Pujols that year with 191 base knocks. Josh, you said Fernando Vina. Anthony, you also said Fernando Vina. Grant, answer is?
It is Fernando Vina.
But Josh and Anthony needed the options.
Nice job, Josh.
1-1. We'll go to question 2. Only 2 active players have made 10 or more All-Star teams. Mike Trout and who else? Josh, without the options, you said Justin Verlander.
Oh, sweet Mary and Joseph. He was an option.
With the options, you said Clayton Kershaw. Answer is
Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw.
Oh. You scared me on that one, Josh.
2-1 heading into the final question.
We need it.
Tomorrow, the Cardinals kick off a 3-game set versus Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds. Cincinnati first promoted De La Cruz to the big leagues last June 6th when he was playing for what AAA affiliate? Josh took the options. You said the Omaha Storm Chasers. Anthony, you also took the options. You said the Louisville Bats. Here's what's happening here. If Josh is right, we got to walk off. If Anthony's right, the fast lane's back on track. Josh.
You have chosen poorly.
Oh, Anthony, back in. It was the Louisville Bats. Anthony gets you, Josh, 3-1 today.
Man. Good job, Anthony.
Thanks, Josh. That was a tough one. You had me sweating. Nice work.
I'm glad I could break the streak for you guys.
Hey, you know what?
Buster.
You got. But here's the thing: you got to the second round, man. So nice job.
It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
Appreciate you, Josh. Take care, man.
All right, bye.
We needed that,
Good boy,
guys.
Anthony.
Thank you, guys. Whew, man, that was tough.
Good job.
You had me on that Justin Verlander. I like to hear the Mo Vaughns when they're not an option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he was like, he took a while, then he got right. He said Justin Verlander, and I was like, that's a really good guess.
That is a really good guess.
Yep.
I was thinking like Bonds, or
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Griffey.
It was active though. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the home run one.
No. I was definitely talking about. I got to listen to these questions.
Yeah, it said active. My gosh, Anthony.
I'm glad I was hard on you guys earlier.
What listening group were you in? We know it's the Orange Reading Group.
Yeah.
But
Probably like the like the Cian.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know.
It is hard though because sometimes you do get twisted. Like
Canary yellow.
I can tell you, the listening part is difficult.
Especially when you're thinking about the previous question. I do that a lot. I find myself doing that a lot. Like, wait a second.
I didn't do that one right.
Wait, can I just have the options?
You got to park it, man. Move on.
You know what? I went 3 for 4. I snapped the streak, and I'm getting this crap.
Nah, good
Well,
job.
you did a great job. We already gave you all the props, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks. All right. We do have Brad Thompson coming up at the bottom of the hour, so talk to BT. But college football, question for you guys. Is the transfer window hurting more than it has helped? That's next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. There's certain things in life where you hear about and you're like, oh, this is going to ruin something, right? It's going to ruin this movie, or it's going to ruin this store. It's going to ruin this restaurant. Mm-hmm. Remember when we heard how the transfer portal was going to ruin college football?
It did.
Well,
just not for the same reasons we're thinking.
Oh.
There you go. There it is. But you guys remember that, right? Like there was this thought that because the transfer portal was going to be wide open, it was going to be the wild. You heard it. It was going to be the wild, wild west, and it has been the wild, wild west. There's been a lot of different transfers. Everybody going this way and that way, and I think it's actually had a reverse effect. Look at Florida State. They are very active and have been very active when it comes to the transfer portal. Florida State's 0-2. They didn't get the right guys in. They still got high expectations, but bringing in a veteran quarterback doesn't correlate necessarily to success. Mm-hmm. I'll give you another example. And this is a team that's 2-0, but it's a rough 2-0. Oregon. Who brought in, last year, obviously, they had a lot of success with Bo Nix.
Right.
They were going to do the same thing this time around. We're going to get Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel's been fine. He really hasn't been the issue. But they opened up the transfer portal. They bring in all these guys, and they don't look like they're running at, operating at full steam here. I wonder if we start to see the programs that are still kind of traditional in bringing guys along slowly as opposed to going for the quick fix, i.e. Georgia. Carson Beck had been there for a while. I wonder if the traditional way to build a program is still going to be the one that wins out in the end. Think about college basketball with Calipari in Kentucky. He did have some success. There's no doubt about it. But he often ran into this issue where it's we got a lot of one-and-dones. We're going to bring them in. They're going to be in the NBA, going all talent. And after a while, it didn't work.
Yeah, ran its course.
What do you guys think? Do you think the transfer portal? I'm talking about the ones Mizzou's got the transfer portal open, but they got a lot of guys that are coming back. Like the foundation was there. I'm not talking about those teams. I'm talking about the ones that are using the transfer portal, just remake a team and starters in one offseason, similar to what Florida State.
I think it can be dangerous. I don't know enough about it, so I'll just say my piece and I'll defer to Carey here. It can be dangerous sometimes because it's almost like eating from a buffet. There's lots of food.
I like buffets.
No, but there's lots of food.
Yeah.
But you put all of it together on one plate, it may not go together.
Yeah.
It may not, the steak might not go with the applesauce or whatever it is.
It's an explosion of flavor.
It is. It's a lot, and it may not be the best. Whereas if you go to a restaurant and you order exactly what they bring exactly what you ordered.
And they do that meal very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'd like to do this meal again. Next time and next time and next time. That's what I compare it to. Is good recruiting programs go out and find players that they can repeatedly use year after year and build around those guys. I'm not saying these other programs aren't good, but I feel like it's like a smash and grab. Get as many transfers as you can and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That player's not happy, get him over here.
Right.
Oh, he's not happy over here. He was a great recruit. Bring him in. But maybe not doing the necessary research on these kids as to maybe why things aren't going well.
Right.
Why is he not playing? Why is he not playing well? Why is he in the transfer portal?
It kind of goes to what Carey has talked about with the quarterbacks that bounce around.
Yeah, it's I think sometimes it can be buyer beware. Like when you are getting a quarterback that is transferred, or any player that is transferred multiple times. DJ Ugalale. Yeah, him.
I don't think you'll have to worry about his name next year.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
DJ Ugalale.
He's been in multiple places, right? He hasn't had. He was the next one at Clemson, and then he didn't do. It just hasn't worked out in the way that Florida State has thought it would be the first couple of games. I think there is there should be concern at times, but I also think that it has made the playing field more level. Like, you are allowed to, if you do hit on a guy that maybe wasn't getting time at a stacked team in a stacked university, and he comes to your school and he's one of the better players you have, I think it can definitely help, speed up that transition from where you would get from a younger player to a guy that has already been established in a program at a university, already understands how to work the weight room program, the food, all of those things, and comes in, and the transition is seamless. So I think it has done both. I think it exposes some guys, because some guys bouncing around, you just might not be able to play. But then there are guys that, again, you find that gem where a guy is like, this guy can actually ball, and wasn't getting the opportunity. I think Jared Verse was a guy that transferred to Florida State. I forget what school he came from, but he's a guy that you look at and say, whoa. And now he becomes a first-round draft pick for the Los Angeles Rams. Like, there is more opportunity. Now, it is the Wild Wild West, and a lot of those kids get in the transfer portal. You have more kids in the transfer portal than come out. Like, there are more kids in than spots available. So, you have to be aware. And then they're not able to go back to their first school. So, if the school doesn't want them back. So it can be difficult, but I think all in all, it has worked out really well, because it gives that kid an opportunity to say, hey, I don't like it here. I didn't think that I don't want to be that far away from home. I don't want to do, like, it gives you a chance to say, and not have to miss a year of eligibility or transfer down, which was the rule when I was playing.
Yeah.
You got to transfer down to a lower level to play right away. You can transfer to the same level, a school in the same state, a school in the same conference, and play the next year and be good to go, rather than sitting out a year.
Yeah, I actually think it works very well for, if you've been, let's say you've been a backup for a, I just looked up. The Mets are now up 6-1. They were being no hit going into the top 10, or going into the top of the ninth. Excuse me. And now they're
resting.
Now they're up 6-1 on the Blue Jays.
I told you,
the
Mets got something going on.
Wow. And we do got to get to BT here in a second, but real quick on this, where I think it really works. If you got a veteran quarterback that's been a backup for a while, like a bigger program. Let's say it's a bigger program in the Big Ten, but you've been backup. That guy can go to like Central Michigan and start the next season and fill out a couple of years of his eligibility and actually play. He wasn't going to start at, I don't know, Iowa, but now at a MAC school, he's got an opportunity to have that program be his own. I think that winds up working out really well.
I'm okay with it that way. I'm not okay with multiple transfers. Like I've told you this before, I think a student should be allowed, if their coach, their head coach moves on, like takes another job or is fired, I think all kids in that program should be eligible for a transfer, because you went to that school because of the coach.
Right.
Beyond that, I think you get one transfer for your whole college career.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That way there, you're not getting this crazy, bouncing.
Yeah, you got a commitment. All right, Brad Thompson's going to join us next. We'll talk to BT about Thomas Ajayce's debut and some other Cardinals-related topics next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking outside at your home and you're looking at the windows and maybe they're dated, maybe they're just ugly, and certainly if you're on the inside, maybe you're feeling that hot air, the cold air coming in means they're completely not efficient at all, please call my friends over at Window World. They are simply the best for less, and they are the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Window World windows are one of the 2 windows also with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. You've heard me talk about these windows before, but the Window World uses a double-strength glass that gives it a strength that is not commonly found in replacement windows. Why is that important? Well, it helps with the durability. they don't break as easy. That's the first thing. Secondly, the efficiency. We just talked about cold air or hot air leaking in or out of your home. That's not good. These windows are way better than what you're used to seeing. They also give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor, and still offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And all you have to do for all this great stuff is give them a call. But when you do call them, or if you go in there, tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you in. They're going to take care of you. They're also going to qualify you immediately for 4 Blues tickets to an upcoming Blues hockey game. That number is 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800. You can always visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
Grant Francis here with a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tough one for the Cardinals last night as they were shut out by the Reds, 3-0 in the series opener against Cincinnati. We'll talk to Brad Thompson about that coming up next here in the Fast Lane, so stay tuned for that. We'll also get to the fact that Lance Lynn will be starting tonight. He was brought back from the IL today by the Cardinals in the roster move that optioned Chris Roycroft down to Memphis. So it'll be Lance Lynn tonight going for the Cardinals, going up against Brandon Williamson for the Reds, and first pitch from Busch Stadium will be at 6:45. I'm Grant Francis. The Sports Center update has been driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're joined by our guy, Brad Thompson. You'll hear him on the calls with Chip Carey on Bally Sports West, 2006 World Series champion. And, of course, our good buddy. What's up, BT?
What is going on, fellas? How we doing today?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. We appreciate you joining us here every Wednesday. What'd you think of the kid's debut last night, Thomas Sajasi?
Look, I'm sure that there were a lot of nerves going into it. I thought it was really cool, too, as Jim Hayes had the opportunity to talk to his father, Tom, during the game. And he said, look, I might look calm on the outside, but on the inside feeling something different. And you know that Thomas was feeling the same way. But, look, I thought even though he went 0 for in the game, went 0 for 4, I thought he carried himself really well. He took swings like he wasn't nervous up there. His second at-bat where he lined out to left field, I mean, it was a missile over 108 off the bat. So this young man, you guys remember back in spring training, if you were legitimately using spring training as just saying, hey, I'm going to pick my 26 best players from this crop, and they're going to head north with me, Thomas Sajasi would have been on the team. I mean, this guy did everything that you could ask him to do. But that's obviously not the case in spring. You have some other things you're doing when you're making your roster. But he hit 20 home runs in AAA. He can bounce all around the infield. Started at short last night. He'll start at second tonight. And I like it. I hope we get a chance to see a little bit more of him down the stretch. I want to see what he's got, in this last month.
BT, there's 27 guys now in the rotation for the Cardinals now that Lance Lynn has been activated. Andre Palante, he didn't get the win last night. 5 walks, had himself in trouble a few times, got out of trouble a few times. He's been pretty solid. I mean, for me, he's been really good since the All-Star break. But what do you think? Like, where do you think the Cardinals go with this now to close out the season based on the fact that they do have 7 guys?
Yeah, well, Matz is in the pen, right? So he'll be available as early as tomorrow. So, I mean, it still leaves you 6 starters at this point with Lynn coming back. So it is a lot. I don't see any reason to pull Andre Palante out of the rotation. We talked about this last week. And had another start, obviously, yesterday. And I understand he gave up 3. He walked 5 again. You'd love to be able to limit some of those walks. But, Jamie, I agree with you. I thought he threw the ball well. I thought he was really effective against right-handers, really got in their kitchen with that 2-seamer, saw him shatter a couple of bats. Like, he has grown a lot. And those are the type of games, because I know that he did not feel great in his bullpen leading into that game. Those are the games where you find out a lot about a guy. And to only give up 3, and by the way, when he gave up those 3, it was a ground ball through the left side by T.J. Friedel, and then a little tapper back to him to drive in another run. I thought he battled really well. So we asked Ollie today, actually, what the rotation looks like moving forward. He said, look, we've got a couple plans, but we have nothing solidified as to exactly what it's going to look like for the next week. So no news there from my end. But I don't take Palante out of it. I let that young man go out there and just continue to prove what he's got down the stretch.
BT, obviously still time left in the season, but it's getting a little bit closer to where, the Cardinals may be out of it. We were talking earlier, and I want to get your opinion on this. What is the one thing that you think the Cardinals need to focus on in the offseason to make the team better for 2025?
Man, I wish I had one thing. I wish I had just one thing. Because honestly, like right now, there are so many different aspects of this ball club that you'd love to be able to tweak. Obviously, your offense needs a huge overhaul. Don't know how to do that. I do believe in comeback seasons for some guys. When you got a couple of aging veterans, like it's not going to turn on the head and be MVP again, although we've seen some better things. You'd love to see some young guys be able to take some step forward. But the problem is, offensively, you don't have too much wiggle room unless you're going to blow a lot of stuff up. So you're going to have to hope for bounce-back years for a lot of guys. Your pitching kind of fell where you kind of expected it to, right? Middle of the pack, and you hope that some young arms. I'm really interested and intrigued by Quinn Matthews. I'd like to see more of Tink Hansen spring training. Not exactly sure what that looks like, but internally, like we watched last night for the Reds, they had a young man who just got drafted in 2023, did not play last season. Rhett Lauder, their guy, came up and a college arm, and he looks really good. He's had 3 big league starts now. Cardinals need some more of that, like internal help there, and they need to be more athletic. Like you look at this ball club on the field, if the ball's hit to them, they're going to make some plays, but they're not a very rangy group overall outside of Siani and Mason Wynn. Like Carey, they got a lot of work to do to try to figure this out, and hopefully a lot of that is done internally with some youth to add some of that athleticism. But there's not like one free agent that you go out and get. It's like, well, this fixes it. We went out and got Max Fried or, whatever. Pick a guy, any guy. There's going to have to be a lot of like think tank of how do we move this group in a positive direction, and how do we keep molding our minor league guys in the right direction where they're able to help us.
BT, a lot's been made this year of stolen bases against the Cardinals, and I mean, look, rightfully so. Take me behind the curtain a little bit. Help me understand the process here, because do the rule changes affect now the times you can go over to first base, keep the guy on there? Then the pitchers, are they delivering? Is their delivery too long? Are the catchers not popping up? I'm just wondering, because it's obviously a thing now.
Oh, it definitely is a thing. And Jamie, you're right. There are a lot of different variables that go into it, and certainly the new rules are a part of that, of why stolen bases have gone up in general, but not to the extent that I think that the Cardinals have been giving them up. Early on, actually, Andre Palante is a good example last night. He gave up a couple of stolen bases to Ellie De La Cruz, even though they did catch him once on a pitch out there in the third inning. But Andre is not good at holding on runners. And it's not that he doesn't think about it, doesn't care. It's just that mechanically, the way that he throws, it's going to be very tough for him to speed up the way that he does stuff. I think that he'll be late a lot if he changes his mechanics. So that's never going to be a great part of his game. But I do think that overall the pitching staff can do a better job of varying the timing, varying the looks, giving their catchers a better chance. Herrera does not throw well, and he was back there a lot of the season. You look at the numbers, he's just not a great catch and throw guy. Pages does throw pretty well behind the plate. Contreras has got one of the stronger arms. So I think that across the board, there needs to be more diligence on stuff like that, because as you guys very well know, the Cardinals play nothing but tight games, nothing but tight games. I was reading a number earlier. It's 96 games so far this season that have been decided by 3 or fewer runs. Well, how much does that one run where you keep them on first instead of second mean, or keep them on second instead of third because they're jumping on you? So I think that there are a lot of different variables as to why, but I think that they could tighten that up quite a bit.
Brad Thompson joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. BT, whether it's incremental improvements or he's just kind of stagnant, what have you seen out of Jordan Walker since he was called up?
Stagnant. I mean, if you're really going to look into it, he had that big day, right? Had the 5-hit day in New York, which was awesome. It was great to see. And then we did see him hit a double on a breaking ball down and away a couple of nights ago, which you love seeing that too. But even the swing, if you go back and look at the swing on the double, it's the same swing, opened up. He just went down to a knee, and he's strong enough to be able to lift that thing when he did recognize it. I think that when you one of the biggest things for him, and he's been reluctant to do it, and we're all in charge of our own careers, right? However you want to shape it and whatever adjustments you want to make. But he's going to continue to get pitched the same way, and he's going to have similar results if he doesn't make some sort of a swing change where he can drive the ball consistently to all fields. I just feel like at this level, and you guys know this, man, whether it's the NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, it is different. You take that step up, guys don't make as many mistakes. They will exploit any of the weaknesses that you end up having. And I think that his weaknesses are getting exploited at this point. And then the crappy part is, then you play that cat and mouse game, right? Then it's back and forth. It's like, okay, well, everything's slider away. I better start cheating on this slider away. And then you saw the Reds bust him in off the plate a few times.
Welcome to the big leagues.
It is, dude. It's maddening because these guys, again, they don't make as many mistakes as they do at other levels. But I think that this offseason for him is going to be a really, really important one of what adjustments can he possibly make? He doesn't have to totally change everything and look like a completely different hitter. But for me, just from a former pitcher standpoint, when I watch him and I see his first movement, first he starts open anyhow and then strides even further open, just logistically, he can't reach the outer half of the plate, especially down. So that's where I would continue to go. So until there's some sort of a change there, I don't think that you're going to see the consistent results that I know he can have. truly believe in the skill set, the athleticism, the work ethic, the drive. Like, he's got everything that you want. He's just got to be able to make some of those swing adjustments. But you guys know this too, and I don't care what job you have, what sport it is. If you get to like the pinnacle by doing one thing, it's hard to change that, isn't it? Like you get to the NHL because you're a fast skater, and then all of a sudden they say, "Hey, we need you to pass and be a little bit more skilled." You're like, no. Speed is what I do. You know, it's very difficult, and at times, like anything else, I feel like it takes some failures, maybe at the biggest level, to be able to make those adjustments. I have no doubt in my mind that he can make those, but I think that that's what this stretch of games is going to be all about here for him, is just, hey, we're throwing you in there every day, and you're going to get the opportunities, and you're going to see what the results are. Now, what do you do with those results?
BT, Luken Baker is batting second today. What's the realistic ceiling for him? Is he an everyday player as a DH or a first baseman in the future?
Well, he's definitely more of a DH than a first baseman. He's not fantastic around the bag over there, and maybe that's even too much. He's not a great first baseman, but he's a slugger, and you've given him opportunities, and he's torn it up, and especially against left-handed pitching, he's done really well. I mean, it's a small sample size in the big leagues, but 3 for 6 with a pair of home runs against lefties coming into this game. I don't know how they look at him going forward. Honestly, if I had to pick, if it weren't Goldie next year, depending on what that looks like contractually as he's a free agent, I still think that they would lean Burleson over at first base before they would Luken Baker. But there's no reason to believe that those two can't be some sort of a tandem with big-time power potential from both sides. And, I mean, you'll see that tonight. You're facing the lefty Williamson for the Reds. There's a good chance late in this game when the lefty comes out, you'll see Baker come out, Burleson end up sliding into that spot. So maybe you could see some sort of a tandem right there between those two.
BT, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate you.
Guys, I miss you, and off-season is going to be here. Either way, even if they make a magical run, we don't do the games on TV in the postseason. So I'm going to have to start coming in and hanging out with you guys more, because my wife's going to want me out of the house.
Yeah, Andrea's going to be like, so, are you going to...
Yeah, you need a road trip, don't you? Okay.
Are you going to work, or,
you're just going to sit here and just stare at me. Great.
That's awesome. Yeah. We don't need you, right, at home?
Right. No, that is very, very evident.
Yeah. See you, brother.
All right, boys. See ya.
That's Brad Thompson here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN, and that's High Heat, sponsored by Scott Lee Heating and by Rawlings. Great stuff, as always, from our guy BT. It's not easy to talk about a team. Let's just be raw and real. It's not easy to talk about a team that's struggling. And he's being as honest as he can be.
There's some good stuff there.
Yeah, definitely.
I do.
Most honest answer. I said, "What's the one thing?" He said, "Not one." Yeah. There are so many things, and I mean, we have eyes. We watch the games. We see, starting pitching. We see the hitting. We see the fielding. We see all of it together. And they got a lot of things to do this offseason. It would be interesting to see how they go about it.
I agree. All right, that's Carey Davis. That is Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. And we got a Sports Six-Pack coming up, Part 1, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack, Part 1 next. Jamie, I love calling our guy Stewie, and he's been running this special for our listeners. Now, the special ends in just 3 days, though, so listen up. If you're somebody that needs Stewie services, listen up to his special right now. What's up, Stewie?
Anthony, we got a great special. It's a Fed funds special. We are anticipating the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates 0.5%. Now, recent reports that came out yesterday, this afternoon, are saying maybe not 0.5%, maybe only 0.25%. So this is a possibility that rates may not go down, or they may even pop back up a little bit. But what we're doing is we're giving our listeners for the next 3 days, we're giving them the interest rate that we anticipate that would be there if the Federal Reserve actually cut it 0.5%. So if you lock it now, you're guaranteed that low rate. If you wait till next week, the Federal Reserve doesn't cut it as much as they're supposed to cut it, guess what? You're not going to be able to get the rate that we're giving you today. So this is going to last another 3 days. Friday at 6 o'clock it ends. If you're interested in refinancing, you want to save money right now with the bagel loan, no closing costs, take advantage now. Ask for the Fed Funds Special.
Yeah, and call Stewie immediately. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait around. Don't try to figure it out on your own. Call Stewie, whether it's this program or the bagel loan or other programs. Honestly, just call Stewie and ask him about anything. He's there to help you. And if he doesn't have the answers, guess what? He's going to find the answers for you and ultimately wants to save you money. So take my advice, Anthony's advice, and call Stewie on his personal cell phone number. That number's 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Call, text, day or night, doesn't matter. Stewie's got you covered. And Anthony, if you can't remember that number, what can they do?
You can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, time for the Sports Six back here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, and our guy Grant Francis is in for Marsh, who will be back tomorrow. But Grant, take it away.
Question number one.
All right, I got to start with my guy, the Grant Francis fan club.
Nice.
He had a question. How do Letty and Parayko each compare to circa 2019 Bouwmeester and Petro?
Jamie, you take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they do compare. I will say Colton Parayko is probably every bit as able and as good as Alex Pietrangelo as a shutdown defenseman. Now the offensive side of it and power play awareness and offensive awareness is not quite there. And Nick Letty is a version of Jay Bouwmeester, but Jay Bouwmeester's honestly one of the best defensemen. Like, look back at his resume. Memorial Cup, Olympic gold medal, Stanley Cup. Like, he's got all of the world championships. I mean, Jay Bouwmeester was silent but deadly because you never really noticed him. But then when you saw him play, specifically here in St. Louis in the last handful of years, I mean, this guy was awesome. So they're a version of it, but obviously they're not the same. It's tough to compare anybody to those two players while they were here. But I do think Colton Parayko, again, he's right on par with Alex Pietrangelo as far as defensively playing against some of the top lines out there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I would evaluate that.
You know what's interesting? I will say, I think pre-Stanley Cup, I would say Jay Bouwmeester probably got more hate around St. Louis than either Colton Parayko or Nick Leddy currently do.
He did, and even then I thought, what are these people doing? And they were so mad at his contract. And this is why you can't always look at the contract and use it as a direct correlation as to the player's performance. Jay Bouwmeester such a good player. Good young player in Florida. I was with him there with the Panthers. Then he goes on to Calgary. Great job there. Comes in here, couple of hiccups, then he gets the contract, and people are mad about the contract. I think it's because people didn't recognize right away the value that he brought to the team. And as they watched him time and time again with just being consistent, being difficult to play against, being difficult to play offense against, and just watching him, people started to appreciate it. And certainly all of that spiked with the 2019 run where he's partnered up with Colton Parayko, and they're out there shutting down the best players in the league. So an underappreciated player in my books.
Question number 2.
All right, from the Water Boy, what current quarterbacks do you think could be in the Hall of Fame if they took a vote right now? Mahomes, Rodgers, Jackson, anyone else?
Those three.
Yeah, let's see. Mahomes, Jackson.
Stafford, the Hall of Famer?
No. Is he? No.
You might. Hey.
No.
Think about it. What? Mahomes, current right now. Mahomes.
Well, Flacco's not current, right?
No.
Yeah,
He's not a Hall of Famer.
He's current.
He ain't a Hall of Famer. You know what?
I don't know if Stafford is.
He's on the cusp. I think he's right there. But
he wins another one, he will be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the hall of very good.
I think Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. He's two-time
with
MVP.
the two-time MVP.
Sign him up. That's probably it.
But don't you have to
for now?
Don't you have to consider the longevity too? With Mahomes, forget it. Mahomes is just. But with Lamar, I wonder if he's got to play a little bit longer.
If he played, if it stopped right now, you would say, well, because of an injury, yes, he's a two-time MVP. I don't think there's no if they stopped playing today, yes.
I'll say Mahomes and Rodgers. I think Stafford's on the cusp.
I
think Lamar just has to have longer longevity.
I disagree.
Because Mahomes has, 3 Super Bowls and counting. So that's a no-brainer there. He doesn't necessarily need the longevity. But Lamar, I think he's got. I would pause on that one.
If the Cowboys for some reason win a Super Bowl,
I had the same
with
thought.
Dak Prescott.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Numbers are pretty good, boys. Numbers are pretty good.
That makes me feel
I'm going to say no
terrible.
on that, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's
so. If we had to pick a futures pick, because that's fun to do too.
Yeah.
Out of all the young quarterbacks, what is Burrows, Herbert, Stroud, Richardson, which one do you think, just one of them, if you had to pick one horse to be a Hall of Famer?
Right now? Ooh.
Yeah, it's a futures bet. I'm going to go C.J. Stroud.
I think that'd be the safe play.
I don't know if it's Joe Burrow's on this list.
Yeah. I worry about Burrow's injury.
I just look at Stroud, and I'm looking at a guy that his first year was great, and this year he's looking good again. I feel like the best is yet to come.
I'm gonna
Michael
hate.
Penix.
Man, he hasn't even played a game yet.
Hasn't even played it down yet.
I'm gonna hate.
That's a hell of a futures.
It's a futures play.
I'm gonna hate that I say this.
Oh no!
Because I hate that I'm saying it.
Here it comes.
Who do you think I'm gonna say?
Caleb Williams. You're a Bears fan now.
Sure, okay.
Hate that you.
I'm gonna hate that I say this. Like if you told me to pick one right now.
Yeah. One young guy. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah, young.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might.
I didn't.
He might not qualify. His resume is too big.
Okay.
I thought about Josh Allen, but I worried about his qualification.
So he's past the
like first or second year or third year. Like, but not like
you can't put Joe Burrow on there then.
Well, you can. Joe Burrow's played 3 years? He missed all last year.
I think this is his fourth.
Yeah, he missed
fourth
all
or fifth.
last year.
I was just going on age.
All right.
It's CJ Stroud. It's CJ Stroud.
Here's my question. You guys make the rules, okay? Whatever.
We trying to get.
No, it's fine. Grant, just go. Please, just go. Honestly,
what about Brock Purdy?
Nope.
That's another one I thought too, but I don't know if he's going to have the
Get rid of these guys.
statistics. He wants our mics cut off.
Yeah. No, I want the next question.
Well, we'll do that next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, are you currently using ED meds? Well, nobody cares as long as you're ready at game time, but I do care if you're paying too much for those ED meds. That's where the Medicine Shop in St. Charles, they become your best friend. They are your destination for cheap ED meds. They've got a generic called Sildenafil. You get that for less than $2 a pill. That's right, less than $2 a pill. Prescription required, of course. And if you have any other medicines or any other medical devices and things that you need, supplies, call the Medicine Shop in St. Charles because they offer free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. Why is this valuable? Picture traveling, busy schedules, busy work days, can't get to the pharmacy will come to you. The Medicine Shop in St. Charles, always taking care of all their customers. Even you go in there, say hi to them for me, please. My pharmacy family loves to help everybody out. Great facility located in beautiful St. Charles. They're going to take great care of you. You can also ask about the program for delivery to your home while you're there. You're going to love working with the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. And for more information, visit them. Brand new website, stcharles.medicineshop.com. Again, that's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 507. Your time check brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Guy Grant Francis in for Andrew Marsh. What do you got, Grant?
Question number 3.
All right, we got this from the 314. It was announced that Kendrick Lamar will perform at this year's halftime show for the Super Bowl. If you could choose a current act instead, who would you pick?
Oh, wow. I think, honestly, Zach Bryan. I think he would be awesome. I told you about this. It's an artist that I knew very little about, and my youngest daughter was just begging to go see Zach Bryan. And so we took, Ashley and I took her and her friends, and it was awesome. I mean, and this guy's blowing up right now. Like, his stuff is everywhere. Every place he goes, it's sold out for not just one night, like 2 nights sold out in a row in each and every city almost. And he's bringing celebrities on stage with him for, like, he does this unbelievable encore at the end with his song Revival. And he always brings up someone famous or whatever to sing it along with the whole band. He would be amazing at the Super Bowl, I think.
Man, I'm not really good with current musical acts. I'll be completely honest.
Bring up an old one.
Okay, Alice in Chains, if you can resurrect Lane Staley, but it's not really a Hall of Fame or Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man.
I know. I'm trying to help you. You're mad at me because your shuffle's gone.
You gotta better watch it. You better watch it.
You think that's funny?
There's
someone out there's just jamming to all of my songs.
Some older person recognized the technology, found it, and is completely appreciating all of your music, Anthony.
It works perfectly.
When's the last time you had updated like the music on there? Are you still able? First of all,
absolutely.
You were still able to update.
I was still updating that music 100%.
Was it like through Napster or
LimeWire?
First of all, it was
on your iPad Nano.
First of all, it was
the original
BearShare.
MacBook was like 5 inches thick. What you said?
So first of all, it was BearShare. Second of all, yes.
LimeWire would ruin the whole computer. Just
Depending
on what you were downloading.
Download for 18 hours. I'll be here. I'll come back when it's done.
Grant, you don't know about
You can download movies too.
I know LimeWire.
BearShare?
I don't know that. I check out at LimeWire.
Same idea. Jamie, how could you bring that up? You know, I haven't been the same since I lost that.
I know, Anthony. I'm sorry.
That iPod.
He went like a month without working out because he didn't have his.
I just got back into the gym.
What are you using?
I picked up some cheap headphones.
What are you using for the music?
Your Sony Walkman?
No. I'm going to kill both of you in your sleep.
The teenagers laugh. He says, yeah, you laugh all you want. This thing's waterproof.
With the metal band.
Right over the head. Headphones, yes. You can't run with that thing. The CD was skipped. You remember? You got the ones that wouldn't skip.
Like a waiter holding the plate.
I was about to say, how awful is that? You had the CD. You're trying to work out. You had the CD disc change, right? One CD.
One.
And you had that thing you were lugging around.
You couldn't walk fast, couldn't run. It would skip.
You barely move.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Anyways,
good times.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
You know who I think would be a really good act for the Super Bowl would be Post Malone.
I think so.
He
There's so many compilations, too.
Exactly.
Wasn't he in it not too long ago? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't think so. No. I don't remember him in the Super Bowl.
Like I said, he's doing compilations with everybody now. So that'd be kind of neat because Post Malone would be the headliner, but you could bring up like Morgan Wallen does a compilation with him. He's got Ozzy Osbourne does with him. Like, it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, that's true.
And it appeals to so many people.
I like Jelly Roll.
Yeah, he's good.
I like Jelly Roll a lot. I think he's got some good songs, and I think he kind of collaborates with different.
He does.
Like I've seen him with rock bands. I've seen him with country music.
I like the artists that you have collaborations that will bring those people up because it gives something for everybody. Like I'll always go back to the Super Bowl show where Aerosmith, Britney Spears, NSYNC, they were all like such a wide variety, but it all kind of like crazy worked out.
Yeah.
And it gave everybody a little something. Like if you're a little bit older, Aerosmith was great.
Right.
If you were like a little teenager and you're into Britney Spears, that was great. If you're into boy bands, that was great.
But you're right, it worked together.
It did.
That night, yeah. the loss of the L.A. Super Bowl. Not that we like to talk about the L.A. Super Bowl, but the L.A. Super Bowl a couple years ago when they had like Snoop and they had
Dr.
Dre. And
50 Cent showed up. Looking more like 55 Cent.
Yeah.
We get older, Jamie, you know, it's a little bit harder. That's why you guys go to mentality.
That's right.
Yep.
There you go.
I was busy researching. Post Malone did perform at the Super Bowl, but he performed America the Beautiful, not the halftime show.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Okay. I knew I saw him.
Give him another chance.
Yeah.
Question number 4.
All right, guys.
We're only on 4.
We're only on 4.
We got sidetracked with your Walkman.
From the 636.
An iPod.
Shuffle.
636. What's the best prank you've played or have had done to you?
Oh, Jamie is
Jamie's
the king of...
Yeah, I went over this not too long ago.
The pizza.
I will, the pizza and the car tires. Yeah, I will bow out of this one just because I think most people have heard stupidity.
I don't do pranks. I'm not I don't want people playing pranks on me. I hate
pranks.
This is just enraged. I think one of the when I was in training camp as a rookie with the Indianapolis Colts, somehow or another there was a pond at Indiana. Where were we at? I can't remember the city where we were having practice, but it was on a college campus, and somehow or another they got the coach's golf cart on a pad and floated it out to the middle of the pond.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty funny.
So, you're going to go out there and get it. You got to swim out there to get it and bring it back. So I think that was hilarious. There's always things, sometimes they're not as funny. I think, not a prank, but when D'Angelo Hall was a rookie, we were rookies in Atlanta. He's a little bit lippy, and people threw some things of his in the cold tub as well as him.
Oh, yeah.
You need to cool off. You got a hot temper, fella. Throw your things in there. Well, you know what? Why don't you go get them yourself? Here. And,
So, what we used to do to certain guys who are a little lippy, cocky, whatever, is you'd get to the rink early, and you'd take their jock strap, and you'd put it in the shower, and then you'd put it in the ice chest. And then they'd go looking for the jock and couldn't find it till last minute, and then they pull it out, it was frozen. Now you got to put that bad boy on and go practice.
There's that way, and then there are some that I've seen that put a little bit of
the heat
in your jock strap, and you don't know.
I did that to Andre Waugh. I was playing in Ottawa, and I forget he was chirping or whatever. I said, okay, good one. So I took the Flexol, and I just wiped it on the top of his helmet inside.
Oh.
So he put his helmet on, starting to burn, but he's starting to sweat, so now it's in his eyes.
Oh,
no. He couldn't see what he was doing. He was crying.
Oh, man.
I was like, I remember you were yapping earlier, right, buddy?
Oh, man.
How you like me now?
How you feel? All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I don't think we'll get to the other ones. Actually, here's a question. Question 5. Why is Lance Lynn pitching tonight? That's next on 101 ESPN. Hey, St. Louis, it's time to fall into savings at Auto Centers Nissan. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they're hooking you up right now. Best financing rates and biggest discounts of 2024. It's all down in Herculaneum. It's all at Auto Centers Nissan. How about 0% APR on select new Nissans like Pathfinders, Rogues, Altimas for finance terms as long as 84 months. That's happening throughout the month of September at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Plus, they're throwing in thousands in Nissan bonus cash and dealer discounts. It's their lowest prices of the year. If you want to give your bank account a break, how about no payments for 3 months on select new Nissans and used vehicles? That's available as well. As always, offers include the 30-day new car return promise, the complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, as well as the complimentary one-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. So check them out in Herculaneum. Over 700 vehicles, financing options for everyone. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Lance Lynn is pitching tonight. The question is why? I think
because he has SP next to his name and he's off the IL. There you go.
Okay.
You need any more information?
Cardinals are trying to win, Anthony. That's
yes,
why.
they are. Yes. So I guess the question remains, Grant, why is Lance Lynn pitching then?
I just answered it.
You're brutal.
Well, I'm responding to Grant's question.
I know.
No, I know why he's
you are.
pitching. I know why he's pitching. It's the contract, and he's healthy-ish, and they probably ran out of runway with him. Let's be honest. Like
he
Lance
probably
Lynn
was at the point where he wanted to pitch.
Yes.
And here's how it went, okay? And I know this well. I've been healthy now for like a week, and I was okay with it at first, but I want to keep playing baseball after this year.
Right.
And if you don't give me the starts, like I can't prove that I'm still a big league pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm under contract. You signed me. I need you to give me at least a start.
Yeah.
You owe it to me.
That answer bothers me so much.
That's not an answer. That was Lance Lynn.
No, I know. Well, that rhetoric bothers me so much. That conversation bothers me to no end because my response would be, well, how many chances did you need before now to prove that you can pitch next year?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? So one or two more starts is going to be the telltale sign. You've had 21 opportunities.
No, but it'll
this
prove
year.
that I'm healthy again. So teams don't think I'm finishing up the season injured.
Then don't get injured.
Well, I didn't plan on it, Coach.
That ain't my problem.
I was out there pitching hard for the team. I mean, what do you want me to do? You can't blame me for doing that.
Nah, I appreciate you. You did a great job, son. Man.
Perfect. Give me another one.
Net.
I think Jamie, I could see that whole conversation playing out, and in defense of Lance Lynn, if he does want to pitch next year, that would make sense. You want to make sure that you at least can show teams that you're healthy. I don't know what team, besides one that's not trying, would want to bring in Lance Lynn next year.
Wow.
Like, all due respect to Lance Lynn, who's had a really nice career, okay? Really solid big leaguer for a very long time. He's had some good ups, but, like, it's over. He hasn't pitched well now in multiple years.
Yeah.
So, good luck tonight against a Cincinnati team that can absolutely bang.
He's going to go 6 innings of 2-hit ball. 1 walk, which will be a double play. Get out of the inning. 6 2/3 for old Lance.
I think it's going to go the other way.
You put your bet the board on that. All right.
Let's see what his let's see what his innings number is.
You
And
put
know
that
what?
bet the board on there, shall you?
You know
All
what?
right. We do have some audio, Grant, from Katie Wu. If you look at so she was on it yesterday with BK and Ferrario, and we played some of her audio where, we kind of dove into some of the aspects of like team building and why the Cardinals are doing certain things. This is kind of an interesting conversation. So again, here's Katie Wu via via BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Katie obviously covers the Cardinals for The Athletic.
The Cardinals are going to do whatever they can to finish the season with as many wins as possible. There's a lot to play for next year outside of, the record and the stats that you just mentioned. But there's a way to try to maximize your win output while still focusing on preparing players for 2025. I wrote about it on Monday. There are ways to make sure that Jordan Walker is playing every day and giving him the best shot to be prepared for 2025. There is a way to keep Victor Scott fresh and ready and developing at the major leagues, even if he isn't necessarily playing every day. There is a way to make sure Andre Palante has the best possible chance coming into 2025. Of course, he pitches today, and hate to say it, but how he pitches today might necessarily dictate what the rotation looks like going forward. I'm sure we'll get to that. But there are ways to look at these players and give them a chance to kind of get a jump start on 2025 without full pivoting on the season. I think it's unfair to compare how the team operated last year at this point to this year because they still are playing for something, where last year they fully committed to developing. The Cardinals aren't going to punt on the season the way they did 2023. They're just trying to finish with as many wins as possible. But like I said, there are still ways to prep and prime guys for 2025 and spring training next year.
Why do they care about finishing with as many wins as possible? And I know the obvious answer. I get it. It's the historical value to it, meaning they haven't had 2 seasons under 500 in since the 50s, I believe, something like that. I could
be the 90s.
Whatever. It's been a really long friggin' time,
right?
Of 2 seasons under 500, but who cares?
Exactly. Thank you.
And does Lance Lynn give you the best chance to win?
Right.
I don't know that to be true.
Right. Like, who are you fooling at this point?
I just don't get it.
Who are you fooling at this point?
Is it just because you want to look at the standings when it's all said and done, when you're doing your internal evaluation and go, well, you know what? Wasn't terrible. We could have had a little bit of luck here, a little bit of luck there. Like, who are you fooling?
This, to me, is another indication that the team is not preparing for 2025, that there is no game plan for 2025. They're trying to finish out the regular season, and then we'll figure it out. That's what this tells me. Lance Lynn pitching tonight, it doesn't make any difference. He's not going to be back next year. So I don't understand why there's not a game plan in place to say, hey, this guy's pitching right now, like a Michael McGreevy or whoever. He's pitching right now because this guy's going to be in our starting rotation next year, or he's going to have an opportunity to compete in training in spring training, whatever it may be. But having Lance Lynn pitch tonight is just flat out for Lance Lynn. Let's just be honest with it.
This goes back to the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago, where I don't feel like the Cardinals are able to plan for the present and plan for the future. And again, for me, if Lance Lynn is not in your future, why do I care? Respectfully, if I'm the Cardinals, why do I care what you need for your career going forward? It's no disrespect. This is a business. It's not, and professional athletes understand that part of it. It's an easy conversation. You know what? Glad you're back healthy. If you are willing to pitch out of the pen, we have a spot for you. Other than that, we have to prepare. Doesn't look like this season is going to be our year. Doesn't look like we're going to make it to the playoffs. We're getting further away in the wild card, and we are pretty much out of it in the division. This may not be our year. We need to start looking forward to next year, 2025 and beyond. If you are willing to pitch in the bullpen, we got a spot for you. But I need to get some of these younger players opportunities to see what they have so that I know what our team looks like for 2025. Unfortunately, you probably won't be here in 2025 either. Again, you need to show that you're healthy. Your health can be shown out of the bullpen. You do not have to be a starter in order to show teams that you're healthy. Go in, pitch against some good competition when we need you out of the bullpen, and you get that opportunity to show all the other teams that you're healthy enough to pitch next year. It's not my issue to perform, to make sure that you're viewed in a way for other teams to pick you up next year.
Yep.
My job as the St. Louis Cardinals is to make sure the St. Louis Cardinals are in a position to have success going forward. They can't do both, in my opinion, and that is the most frustrating part, which leads me to believe that if Lance Lynn is on this team next year, I would not be surprised. Because what other reason do you have for putting him out there right now? It's not good enough to say we're giving you a chance to show you're healthy. I can show that from the bullpen, man. That's not a good enough reason. So this is where my frustration comes in from the St. Louis Cardinals. If you're that's how I feel about that. Like I don't think there's any other way to express that.
Well, and here's my question too. Like, if you want to give Lance Lynn the opportunity to pitch and earn another contract, why not just do what they did to Tommy Pham? Like, why not just DFA him and let another team pick him up?
Yeah, that's a good call, too. Yeah.
Then everybody wins.
Right.
The Cardinals get to play younger players in his spot. Lance Lynn gets to pitch.
Yep.
And
that's a good call.
As wrong as this is, Carey, and as much as this is going to send you into a tailspin, I don't think the Cardinals view this as the best way to get a win. I think they view it as we owe the guy one. You know, he's been a good Cardinal. We owe him one. Let's get him a start. I know.
Do you?
Carey.
What about the fans? What do you owe them?
Carey,
I'm
answering the best I can.
I don't make a Lance Lynn bobblehead. We solve all of these issues at once.
I'm surprised they haven't, honestly.
And again, this is no knock. I don't know. We don't know. We're not privy to any of those conversations. I don't know if they're saying, here, we'll give you one more chance. I don't know if they're saying, hey, we plan on having you in the rotation for next year.
I don't think they're saying that.
Well, then my brain cannot rationalize if he's not going to be on your team for 2025, then why he would be starting today.
I think it's just we owe him one.
That's
Yeah. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We got Beat the Streak and the biggest question of the day next.
With over 2 decades of family ownership and operation, my friends over at E&B Granite, they are St. Louis's trusted name in renovations for kitchens, bathroom, and outdoor living spaces. They've got a tremendous amount of inventory. They offer an extensive selection of custom countertops, cabinets, flooring that caters to all kinds of different tastes. They have a variety of colors, patterns, and styles that are guaranteed to bring new life to whatever it is you're doing, your kitchen, your bathroom, outdoor living space. The team of professional fabricators, they do a great job. The installers, impeccable work. They get in, they remove the old stuff, they install the new stuff, and it looks absolutely incredible in your home. And you get the help, too. If you need it, the help from the in-house design staff. They were a huge help for me when I redid my kitchen, and I'll be asking them for some advice very soon as well as I plan to do a couple more renovations. But either way, head down to 6135 Manchester Avenue. Get in there, explore their massive inventory of custom countertops, cabinets, and flooring. Or you can book an appointment. It's real easy. Just call them at 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300. Or you can always visit them at enbgranite.com.
Greg Francis here with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cards fell last night in the series opener against the Reds. They were shut out 3-0 at Busch Stadium. They'll have to bounce back tonight as they're back against the Reds at Busch. Lance Lynn gets the start as he's coming off the IL. Chris Roycroft, in a roster move earlier today, was optioned to Memphis as Lance Lynn comes back. He'll be going up against Brandon Williamson tonight from Cincinnati. First pitch at Busch will be at 6:45. I'm Grant Francis. The Sports Center update's been brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane here at 101 ESPN. It is time for Beat the Streak. We got our guy Matt back here on the phone lines. Matt, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I feel awful, though, from yesterday. I feel so bad for Carey. He laid on the sword for me, gave me his pick for Friedel. He hit the game-winning hit, the only guy that really did much. And then he took India. After Friedel got the hit, I'm like, I was rooting for India the rest of the night to be stunk. And
I appreciate
he did nothing for me.
Did nothing.
So,
yeah.
See, I don't feel bad at all for CD.
Yeah, I know you don't, Jamie. Matt's a nice guy. You, on the other hand.
Yeah, not so nice. That's fine.
It's okay.
So now I'm trying to figure out how to rectify the situation. And so the only thing I can do, so can I go ahead and pick first? Is that okay?
We don't have the, I don't know if once you got a hit. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't get a hit.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, since Carey's our leadoff guy for the 4 o'clock fight, and he also picked our leadoff guy, Mason Wynn, for the home run tonight, right? Didn't you pick him?
You did.
I did.
All right, so let's roll with Mason Wynn. Bunch of leadoff guys. Let's go. Let's do this.
There you go.
All right, so Matt, you've got Mason Wynn. Carey, I'm going to let you go next.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it.
You're crying a little bit, so go ahead.
You know, I'm going to take TJ Friedel.
Oh, there you go. All right, TJ Friedel. And Anthony Stalter picked, he was doubling down, too, with Nolan Arenado.
All right.
So Anthony Stalter. Our guy Marshy didn't send in his pick.
You know, sounds like it's a JC night. You know, maybe the first hit.
Marshy does do that stuff
of his
a lot.
career.
We'll go Andrew Marsh. I'm going to go way off the board here, something really offline. I'm going to go with Illy De La Cruz. I have a feeling that he could have a big night. Yeah. All right, Matt. Good luck, buddy. And hopefully we're talking to you again tomorrow, my man.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks for calling.
All right, yep.
All right. It's that time of the day, Grant.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, guys, so we got this text earlier, and I found it interesting. It was from the 573. I went to the Cardinals game last night, and I want to say it was just pitiful. There were probably 4 plays of absolutely no hustle. Could this be a sign of a losing mentality moving forward? And I want to sort of shape this into a bigger question, which is, how do you break out of that loser's mentality when you're going through it as a team? What does that feel like in the locker room, trying to get that ball rolling, of trying to break out of that mentality?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. But I will say this, it falls on the laps of your leadership group. It does. Coaching staff aside, this is where the veteran players, this is why you signed all those older players, is to, at this point here, this is when you have them put their arm around the young guy if he's not hustling, if he's not, and just say, hey, listen, kid, you won't be here in this league for very long with that kind of an effort. And that's not how we do things here in St. Louis. Hasn't been the season we want, but we don't give up, ever. Until the last pitch is thrown, we always believe we have a chance, and we need to play like that. Because although it may not be playoffs for you this year, as a player, it might be your playoffs, meaning you may not be here next year.
Right.
But again, CD, that's the leadership group. That's the guys that have to step up and lead by example at the same time.
Definitely. For me, it's understanding that you're playing for your career, your opportunity to maybe start next year for your roster spot, and if you're a guy that is solidified in that, being a good leader, like you said, and being a good teammate and showing them the right way to go about your business. Because even if this year isn't going to be your year, you don't want to start creating a place where, people are so lax and so comfortable and so, not doing the things that are required to win games. And the snowball start rolling downhill and it becomes a big issue. But it is frustrating. It is one of the hardest things to get out of when you're in it, because there is no answer. There is no solution. Nothing goes your way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, the ball bounces the wrong way. The puck skips over your stick when you are about to make a slap shot and score the game. Like, it just, everything that can go wrong does go wrong. And it feels like we're never going to get out of this.
100%.
It's so frustrating. But not playing with effort and not playing with passion and not playing with, joy is not the way to go about it. You still got to play the game the right way. You still got to do all the things. You still got to show up to the stadium, to the clubhouse, to the field, and have that mindset that I'm going to give my best effort even when things aren't going right.
One of the greatest Blues players / people / personalities ever was Bobby Plager. Mm-hmm. And Bobby Plager always said, don't ever embarrass the Blue Note.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best player. You don't always have to win, but don't ever embarrass the logo. And I think that always stuck with me to where, you know what, you're right. You can't control the bouncing puck.
Right.
You can't control the curveball that you miss. You can't control, but you can always control how hard you work.
Effort.
And even if you make mistakes trying to do something that helps the team, I think the fan base, your teammates, the organization, they recognize that stuff. And they all say, okay, that's a player right there. That's a player. He's got some stuff to work on. Don't get me wrong. But I can work with a guy who leaves it out on the field, on the ice, like day in and day out.
Win, lose, or draw.
100%.
Sign me up.
And so that's where I think that the mentality of this team has to go is, one, don't embarrass the logo. People right now may be thinking, well, the Cardinals, that's not what it used to be. Listen, that logo carries a ton of weight in Major League Baseball. As far as a historical franchise is concerned, the Cardinals are a very well-respected organization. Don't embarrass the logo. Don't do it. Get out there, finish every playoff the way you would as if the World Series was on the line, because that's the mentality that will help create the culture moving forward and hopefully pull this team back to where they need to be.
Yeah, play it like it might be your last play, because honestly, for some people, it could be. Like, you do not know. You may assume, oh, I'm good for next year. You don't know. You have no clue. So play every game, play every pitch, every at bat, every shot, every snap, whatever the sport is, like it could be your last one. Because if not, again, it ends for everybody. We just don't know when it's going to end. And some people, a lot more people's career has ended sooner than they expected or what they thought it would.
Oh, of course.
Than having that send-off of a Hall of Fame or 10-time All-Star career.
You don't always get to pick when you retire.
No.
The greatest players usually get to pick when they retire.
Everybody else.
The other guys,
the 95%.
The league picks for you.
Right. Wait, I'm done?
Don't be one of those guys. Don't make it easy on the league to retire you.
Indeed.
That'd be my best advice for that. All right, it's the Fast Lane here at 101. When we come back, we've got Bet the Board, criticisms, compliments, 3 stars, and we'll wrap it up here, 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers here for the Bib Agency. And listen, I've got a story for you. Before I met Tracy Bibb, I had an insurance provider that was a 1-800 number. Now, I didn't even realize the proper coverage, if I had that or not. I just was told to go for the best rate. And every time I called the 1-800 number, I got somebody different. And when I needed answers to something, they passed me on to somebody else, and I'd have to explain everything to them. It was really kind of discouraging. So when I met Tracy Bibb and she said, hey, listen, trust me on this one. Give me a call. I did. And it's been the best choice I've ever made. Me and my family are properly covered. We're getting the best rate available. And we get that personal attention that you deserve from your insurance agent. You pick up the phone, you call the Bibb Agency. They know who you are. They know your family. They know what your policy is. They can scan your card, send it to you, picture of it on your phone in the moment, take care of everything on the fly. And that's the kind of service that you deserve right now, especially when the insurance world is kind of crazy all over the place. People are losing coverage by certain providers, not with the Bibb Agency. They're going to take great care of you. And all you have to do is give them a call at 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. If you miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, time to bet the board, gentlemen.
I am terrible. Everything I pick is just, I'm so discouraged. I picked the Dodgers to beat the Cubs. I mean, come on, right? Nope.
Didn't happen?
Nope. Nothing is going my way. It's just...
It happens. Those months happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it's going to have to be another 8-game parlay coming up here.
Well, you have been known to put those together.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to rely on that again.
Yeah, fair. I know that...
Marsh put his pick in, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Is Marsh still leading us? We don't know, right? We don't know the standings.
I have it right here, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Marsh is 5-1 at this point. He did take an L last night. But he is 5-1 so far. Carey, you are 4-2, and then Anthony, you're 3-3. Jamie, you are 1-5.
Yeah, I'm aware. Thanks, Grant.
Yep.
All right, so let's see here. I'm looking at the text chain and
Caitlin Clark over 3.5 3-pointers made.
Okay,
pretty solid bet.
Caitlin Clark over 3.5 3-pointers made. That is Andrew Marsh's selection.
Andrew Marsh took my pick yesterday, and it didn't work out for him.
No,
good for him.
Yeah.
Give me Juan Soto hits, runs, and RBIs 1.5 minus 110.
So you think he's going to be back now? Yeah.
2 days in a row without a hit.
Yeah.
You think he plays for the Cardinals?
I was looking at, speaking of the Cardinals, I was looking at the team total for the Reds tonight, and it's only 3.5.
Really?
Give me the Reds over 3.5 tonight.
I almost took
total runs.
Lance Lynn. 5 2/3 is the over for him. Thought about it.
I don't know if he gets there. He might. I got the over 3.5 for the Reds. Team total runs.
It's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to us, Jamie.
Yeah.
You got it. You
got this. Absolutely.
On the money line, I got the Reds plus 130.
Okay. Yeah, not going to fight you on that one.
Yeah.
You're going to get your Redbirds, huh?
I am.
Shame.
Good news for the Cardinals right now, huh?
Shame.
Oh, Grant.
What?
Wow.
I'm just going with the trends.
What the hell is wrong with you?
This is the best thing that's happened to the Cardinals all month.
Oh, man.
I used to like you, Grant.
I mean, you did bet the Cardinals earlier this month, and they lost.
I know.
I'm just
so now I'm
saying.
betting the Reds.
And the Reds are going to lose. That's what
Shut your
he's saying.
face, Carey. I have one win this month. I don't remember what the hell it was, but it had to be a good one.
Arizona money line looks like.
Yeah, it was. That was a great game.
What Arizona?
Because it was a favorable matchup, Anthony. You think I just pluck these things? I actually research things. And I research here's on Lance Lynn. I went, okay, I'm going with the Reds.
That is hilarious.
All right. Grant, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, we'll start with this one because it was pretty recent. The 618 was a little upset that last segment. For the loser mentality, it's just funny that all it is with this team and media, and we just laugh and have a good time. And he said, I hear laughter.
Oh, God. You know what? 618 needs a little laughter in his life. Just once.
Man.
Even if you laugh and cry at the same time. Just
sometimes, and I've told him this, sometimes people laugh to prevent themselves from crying. Like,
yes.
I'm sure there's been a lot of laughter down at the ballpark after games. Because you can't cry all the time.
Sometimes you're just out of tears, Carey.
Sometimes the tear ducts dry up, and all that's left is the Joker laugh. And that doesn't mean you're happy. The Joker wasn't necessarily happy.
No, he was insane.
He had a smile etched on his face at all times. He wasn't happy.
No.
He was sad. Have you seen that Joker? I mean, come on, that documentary tells you a lot, man.
It sure does.
He's still out there, too.
Poor clown.
Goodness. You guys got to watch it. It is disturbing.
Even if we complained all the time, just peek behind the curtain here, it won't matter. Like, even if we were just completely railing on them all the time, it wouldn't matter.
Call us up at the Fast Lane, Cardinals. We'll get together.
In all reality, like, do you guys notice that the teams maybe affect your day a little bit? Like, when the Cardinals and Blues are playing really well, did it affect your day in terms of your mood being able to talk positively? Like, because now I feel like all it is negative all day.
I feel like on Mondays, when the Cardinals are still in it, if they had a bad weekend, people were pissy on Monday. Like listeners. Texters were a little bit more agitated.
Yes.
So that would impact us.
For you, Jamie, with the Blues, like, because I know I did this a few years ago when I was doing radio, doing the sideline reporting. Every weekend, I would drive up to Champaign to either catch a flight or watch the game at home. I would get in the car coming back home and ask myself every time, why the hell am I doing this?
I don't ask myself that.
Why?
I'm fine doing it. Trust me. Sometimes it's discouraging because, like, the next day, if you're doing radio or you're doing TV, like, you got to find a way to tell the truth, but at the same time, highlight some of the things that were good, because you can't just be negative all the time.
Right.
There are certain positive things that happen throughout the course of a game. There are certain players that have a good game, even though the team loses 5-0. So the trick is finding the real, like the factual things that are positive, but at the same time highlighting like where things could have went better.
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
No.
From the 573, this was during the conversation that we had when we asked the question of who reminds us of Jamie's style of play in the NHL. Connor McDavid reminds me of Jamie.
Yeah, he's not quite as fast as I was.
Yeah.
You were flying.
Yeah, so I don't see the scoring ability that he has.
The raw talent.
Yeah, that you had, that you possessed.
That's a good point, Anthony. Thank you.
Someone else, your mom's boyfriend from the Snake Pit. said Jamie skated back to the bench faster than any player I've ever seen.
That's only when Mario Lemieux was on the ice.
And Quenneville was.
And Quenneville was screaming at me at the top of his lungs, and I couldn't get off the ice. I was trapped. And Mario could hear it, too, and you could tell he was hanging onto the puck just a little bit longer. Son of a... Like, I played against him before, you know. Yeah, he had 4 goals. Hey, my guy.
He's got all the stats right there. You're a -7. Get off the ice.
Whatever.
We'll go to Gator in the Snake Pit that said this earlier. We were talking about it a little bit. Anthony was in the Periwinkle listening group.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's funny. One of the streets that I grew up on was Periwinkle Lane. So,
really?
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Is that in
San
San
Jose?
Thing?
I yelled at my parents. I'm like, really?
That's got to be a California
New York?
thing.
This is where we're living?
Yeah.
Really?
Chicago? What city? What state?
Can't remember.
Florida?
It was
Not the Brook.
Detroit, Illinois.
Detroit, Illinois.
Was it in the Brook?
Yeah, it was actually. It was in the Brook. Yeah. Yeah, but I was in the Periwinkle listening group.
Good times.
Yep. Wasn't the sharpest listeners.
Nah, don't worry about it.
But look at me now.
Still here. Doing radio every day. Yep.
Still working on that listening.
Yeah.
Nice. We got 3 stars?
3 stars.
Yep. All right, we'll go with 3rd star today. We'll get to our guy BT for joining us at 4:30.
BT.
High Heat with BT.
There you go.
I miss listening to him. I wish you guys could all do like all 4 of you on a show.
Oh, that would be
some entertainment.
Yeah.
It'd be like drinking from 2 fire hoses at the same time.
Yeah. And at the end, you're like, I don't know, I liked it or not.
I'm exhausted.
Right.
All right, 2nd star. I'm going to give this one out to my cousin Bowden Francis for almost getting the no-hitter today.
Oh,
He got blown up.
Yeah, disappointed for him.
Yeah, he didn't
Had
finish
the
it.
no-hitter.
One dinger, and the other guy screwed it up after.
Well, he shouldn't have gave up that one. The other guy didn't get
100%
in.
right. Gave that team momentum.
Yeah, had a no-hitter going into the 9th. They lost 6-2. That's rough.
That is rough.
Tough one for him. First star today is going to go to the Gwinnett Strippers.
Yes, the Gwinnett Strippers.
Not Stripers.
Yeah, as I was looking down, I just read it quickly, and I went, the Strippers. And I said to Grant in the little thing, I went, yeah, there's not 2 P's there. So
Is that was that the Gauntlet?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I missed that. I'm like, when did
got
that
called up
happen?
from the Strippers?
For Grant Francis, nice shot.
Never
For
know where
Carey
you're at when you
Davis,
get that call.
Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. See ya.